At least 17 people are dead, many injured, in a stampede at a Hindu religious festival in India.
There were just hundreds and hundreds of people sleeping along the riverbanks. And because today is an auspicious day, there were millions of people that were expected to come and bathe in these holy waters. So there was a rush of people coming in and going out from inside the waters. And what ended up happening is that the people that were laying down on the ground, well, inevitably in the crush of people, someone fell, someone got pushed, and eventually people were trampled.
That's a BBC's Samira Hussein. Australian police say they suspect explosives found on Sydney's outskirts were evidence of a deadly escalation in a campaign of anti-Semitic arson and graffiti crimes that has been waged in major cities for months. News and analysis at townhall.com. Scientists have been keeping a close eye on one of the world's most active volcanoes, which has been acting up again.
The Kilauea volcano at the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park is spewing lava once again, the seventh recorded episode in recent weeks. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory says the eruption that began December 23rd has paused periodically. It resumed Monday with small spatter fountains that continued to increase intensity. Fountains on the north side are 100 to 120 feet high and feeding multiple lava streams. A small fountain can be seen in the south side with a small lava flow emerging. John Scott reporting.
Former Democratic U.S. Senator Bob Menendez facing the possibility of a long prison term. He'll be sentenced today for taking bribes of gold bars, a luxury car, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash. Prosecutors asking a judge to give Menendez 15 years in prison for crimes that include acting as an agent of the Egyptian government. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy, oh so happy Wednesday, everybody.
Ah, yes.
Kind of, it was supposed to rain.
Yeah, I looked
up
up last night and I was like, there's not a cloud in the sky. I could see stars.
And they've just zapped it from the forecast for any shots today.
So, rain? You were thinking rain?
Yeah. So.
What's wrong with you?
No moisture.
No.
Just kind of hope for a little rain. We need the moisture.
We could definitely tamp down some of the dust.
Maybe not all at once, but, you know. But, so now we go into, getting into milder temperatures. It'll be upper 50s today and tomorrow. Hitting the 60s by Friday, and Sunday will be upper 70s, 80 on Monday.
I'm going to have my air conditioner back on by next week. Dang.
Tuesday, 72. Yeah, 76 Sunday. 68 Saturday. So it's going to be nicer temps over the next
I will take it.
Week or so here.
These are the days that men like me live for. Yeah, we get through the cold. We work through the heat. It's those perfect days that make living in southeastern New Mexico just all right.
Pleasant.
Pretty aight.
I shoot for pleasant. But happy Wednesday.
Yes.
Hope all of you are having a wonderful day thus far. We got on Saturday. We got a pretty cool day planned. Scouting USA. They're doing the Conquistador Council are having their big meetings here this Saturday with the whole council coming in. But, one of the things I've been doing with them for, I don't know, quite a few years now. On that day when they do that, they honor all the Eagle Scouts for the year at the scouting headquarters here in town over there in Aspen. You should go visit. They have a patio out there, and on the patio they've got in the patio bricks, they have every single Eagle Scout from the Conquistador Council, and the bricks are by year. Nice. And so each year at this thing, they dedicate the new brick with the new Eagle Scouts for this past year.
Is it one brick with all the names, or does each?
It's one brick for each Scout.
Okay.
One that year.
That year. So like if I was getting my Eagle that year, I would get a full brick.
Well, no, you would get on the 2025 brick.
See, that's what.
Because they only got so much space.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it started many moons ago. Matter of fact, I think they're going to have to expand the patio soon because I think they're running out of space.
Sounds like a great problem to have.
Exactly. So, but yeah. So they're going to. So I've been the MC host of that ceremony every year.
Nice.
And it's always fun to meet the new Eagles and kind of share my time in scouting and all that. And so that's this Saturday. So we're going to go. So I'm looking forward to that. Go out there and meet the new Eagles and of course they have their banquet and all that good stuff. So that'll be my Saturday. So
nice.
Look forward to that. That'll be fun. And congratulate the new Eagles. It's pretty cool. It's I like that tradition too. How they have like every because in theory, these folks can I got my Eagle back in '82.
Yeah, it's
go back to the patio and go see. There's Dad or Mom. Dad, and that can be Dad's name up there.
And of course, each time when you go, get your Eagle, you have to have like your service projects. You can there's a story about, your service project and putting that whole thing together. And it's just kind of a cool chance to reminisce and get to the heart of why we do scouting, at all is it's that unity. It's that bringing the families and the packs together.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's a neat thing.
But that's this Saturday. So we're going to go out and do all that over the weekend. So hopefully folks that are involved and stuff will come out and attend.
I gotta say, I've never been one to, and I know this is going to come as a shocker. I've never been one to enjoy camping. I know me, right? No,
don't like the outdoors.
Who knew? I just, and maybe it was just all the experiences I had weren't the best. Like I didn't enjoy a lot of my time because usually I was with a loud, angry old man, generally. And I was the one who was.
Yeah, it's different when you go with friends.
I think it would be. Yeah. Plus, and here's the thing: I've been like keeping up on. There's different videos I watch on YouTube or stuff that I see that pops up in ads. Camping looks so much easier now. You can get inflatable tents. Like they have full blown inflatable houses you could just set in the middle of the woods.
Yeah. Well, there's various forms of camping. Camping is a very loose
Exactly.
term.
I can now go straight glamping. I've been watching these ones where these guys
that's really the glamping now.
You can put flat screen TVs in with PS5s. I don't have any of this stuff.
Right.
I mean, if someone is willing to provide all these things, I go camping.
Yeah. I put it this way: there's different, for families and stuff. I'm all for that. Bring out the air mattresses. Bring, if you're going to bring especially the younger kids.
Yeah.
Bring out bring out all the stuff. But if you're say a youngin in your late teens, 20s, and being outdoors, I kind of think not with the family thing, but I'm more into not like low impact camping. I mean, I've done that and that's fun, but I wouldn't want to do that for long stretches, and that's not for most people.
Right.
Most people aren't into low impact camping. When I talk about low impact camping, I'm talking about you leave no trace.
Sure.
So you do very little to disturb the environment, and you do things like your food, you pack it all out. Nothing comes. You don't know. The ground fires are pretty much not existent.
Right.
You're cooking everything on a one burner stove.
And see, that's the beauty of the situation I'm talking about, because you get yourself a camp stove that's going to heat your tent, and you get a tube out or whatever.
Right.
That's going to heat your tent. You can cook on that, so there's no fire there.
Yeah.
my whole thing is I really enjoy chopping wood. I really enjoy
see,
making wood into smaller wood.
So, and that's where I want the creamy middle. I don't want low impact where everything's in my backpack,
Right.
and I want that one where I have a fire. I'm sleeping in a tent.
Right.
No air mattresses.
Now, if you're doing
nothing.
like a gas-powered stove, sure, you don't need that. But I'm talking about like a wood fire camp stove. That gives you the opportunity.
I want an open
the
fire.
best of both worlds.
Personally, I want the campfire.
Okay.
Because I prefer to cook my food that way. If I'm going to be in that world, the food's so much better. And to be honest, it's less mess. It's easier. It's and you can cook delightful meals with a campfire. And to be honest, you could do it with minimal cleanup, I mean, you could literally cut all your meats and potatoes and stuff, throw it in a foil pack, season it up, throw it in that fire, let it cook for about 20 minutes, pull it out, and you got a delicious meal.
I always enjoyed doing the foil wrap into the fire.
And cleanup involves whatever you use to chop up the stuff and prep it with, and getting rid of your foil ball.
It always comes back to TikTok, but I love those videos where there's just like a guy, he just walks out into like a pristine snowy field. There's like a mountain behind him, and he's got like a log that he's like drilled a hole into and made into this like makeshift like stove.
Yeah.
And he'll just sit there with a cutting board and he'll chop up his vegetables with like this giant, like one of those Alaskan like awl knives. And
you realize that's all way too much work.
Oh, I know. But he makes these like beautiful like gourmet meals, and then he just sits there in the snow with his dog. He'll like throw him a piece of meat or whatever.
What if I told you?
Those are awesome.
What if I told you I could do? I mean, I don't have the cooking skills, but what if I told you I could do nearly the same thing with an open fire and a Dutch oven?
I mean, I'm not gonna get under the blanket with you, Mike.
The different Dutch oven.
Oh, okay. Right. I don't know if you can replicate that experience.
I'm telling you. If you know what you're doing, you can make anything with an open fire and a Dutch oven.
Sure.
If you know what you're doing.
I would agree with you on that.
I'm just telling you, you can make pies, you can make stews, you can make the world is your oyster.
That and a couple of potatoes, you got yourself a stew.
I've had cakes done out of a Dutch oven. I've done all kind of on a campfire. And
sure. I mean, there's the possibilities are endless if you've got, because a Dutch oven is just a cast iron grill, essentially.
But you literally put it in the fire,
right?
That's how those work. And it's the spoiler. You want a trick? Soap up the outside of your Dutch oven before you do that. Cleanup is a lot easier.
Soap up the outside though?
Not on Dutch oven. I'm sorry. On a pot. Another tip. I'm not Dutch oven. I'm sorry.
A cooking pot, sure. I was like, you never want to put soap.
No, what you do is like if you got a cooking pot, you put if you put it over the fire, you literally soap it out on the outside, and when you clean up, it does clean up.
Okay.
Not Dutch oven. I apologize.
That makes sense.
But other pots and stuff, yeah.
And I would say, especially in this ultra dry January that we find ourselves in, of course, make sure you extinguish your flame at the end, because that's always been the biggest problem with me is I could never get a campfire fully out.
Oh,
I bury the hell out of that thing, and it would still be hot to the touch.
Yeah. It's I can show you. I was a scout. I'm an Eagle Scout.
I'm not going camping with you, Mike. You can keep asking, but it's not going to happen. I feel like you're trying to get me alone in the woods, and I don't know. I've just recently watched the Canteen Boy sketch from SNL. I'm not ready for this.
I was like, there's so much Alec Baldwin right now. Oh man, but to be honest, I haven't camped in. Well, I've been married 20 plus. It's probably been 40 years since I've
really.
Camped. It's not 40. I'm 50, so I bet
so
it's been 30.
As a scout.
It's been at least 30.
I'll give you 30.
At least 30.
You and your wife have never gone camping?
No.
See, but this is what I'm telling you, Mike. This is your chance.
I don't think she wants to do with camping.
This is your chance to breach it because you can make it an experience for her, and comfort, and all of her creature comforts, all the amenities she could possibly want, and you can have your thing. Yeah. I'm telling you. There's a way to make this happen. I'm gonna find links.
She's not gonna enjoy it.
If you get yourself a few of those solar powered chargers, you have them out all day. Those can be basically your power supply. Keep all your devices charged.
Yeah. There's problem one right there with my camping experience.
Why?
Ain't no phones. We don't need all that nonsense.
No, you gotta have a communications device, and
you put it in your glove box and you forget about it.
And you're probably gonna want to play a little Candy Crush. So there's that, but inflatable mattresses. And here's the thing. I was under the impression that if you got like an inflatable tent, you're going to need something to keep air flowing into it.
Yeah.
No, you blow that thing up one time, plug it up, and it's good to go until
We would
it's
not have an
punctured.
inflatable tent either.
They're awesome. Dude, I know what you're thinking.
I'm not sleeping in a bounce house.
See, that's what I said. I know what you're thinking, but it's not. The advancements in inflatable tents, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You can get tents that look exactly like what the old school tents do, or up to like a log cabin.
And in all fairness, the weather in this time, I wouldn't go in January,
Yeah.
but New Mexico has great weather for no tent at all.
That's true.
Open weather sleeping.
Yeah.
It's perfect for you all.
Maybe get a mesh net.
Well, I would even say nah, because you have the blessing of being in higher elevations, less water, which means less mosquitoes.
True.
And to be honest, the tent really is protecting you from that kind of stuff. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Rain, obviously, things, but if there's an animal of larger carriage rolling through there, ain't no tent going to save you from none of that.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
So
that's why you carry bear mace.
I will tell you, as a Eagle Scout, I got to get the interview going. But trust me, sleeping open air on a hammock or just rolling out a bedroll, it's a cooler experience.
All right, Tarzan.
And I'll tell you one other thing real quick. I will never, the coolest thing, I think I've mentioned this before, but I was at a Lanhoxen Trail in Virginia. It's like a high adventure camp, part of a scout camp and everything. And so it was kind of a deal where we backpacked for a week and in the mountains and all that. And you go to different outposts and all that. Well, one of the outposts we went to, they have latrines, sort of. I mean, like a place you can go. So this one basically had a toilet there. And it was literally in the open. Like, I mean, it was in the woods.
Right.
And you were private. But you're sitting on, like, this little hill that overlooks this beautiful mountain
Dude.
scene. And I will tell you this. The happiest dump of my life was about 6:30 in the morning on that toilet, looking, just sitting there, looking at this majestic lake with this mountain scene and trees. I tell you, if a bear poops in the woods, it's going to be good. I'm just saying, bucket list it.
You just described literally a whole plot point from Rick and Morty.
Really?
Yeah.
I had that experience.
Rick has a
and
whole.
I highly recommend
and I know
it.
you're going to get the interview going. Rick has a whole universe that's just this pristine field.
Yeah.
And in the middle is his toilet.
Yeah.
So that he can have the best dump ever.
It's not a field; it's up in the mountains.
Yeah,
but it was.
The thing is, he's like walking up and he like does that thing where you run your fingers through the grain.
Yeah. And I'm literally sitting there on this little commode, and it's just me and the nature. And
bird flying by.
And it was the most beautiful thing, man. It was beautiful.
Nothing facilitates release like a sunrise.
It was beautiful.
It's like the moon and the tides, man.
Yes. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. We're going to replay our interview we had with Lauren Dickinson from the Roswell Refuge. She joined us earlier this month. They've got their Valentine's Day drawn. They got a couple of things coming up here. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to replay our interview we had back on the 13th with artist Greg Birch and author Cindy Sloan Butts. Give an update on some of his artwork and talking about her latest books as well. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we're going to have the folks from American Legion Post 61 join us, give us an update on some of the things they've got coming up. Of course, next month will be the Four Chaplain Ceremony. They do that in February, so we'll be talking about that. I say next month, that's like next week, but the ceremony will be later. But anyway, we'll talk all about that with them here in just a little bit. But first, let's do this. Let's pause for weather, quick commercial break, and then on the other side, we'll play our interview with Lauren Dickinson from the Roswell Refuge. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little fog possible early today. We have a low-pressure system moving north of us. Mix of sunshine and clouds for the afternoon, and we'll be in the mid to upper 50s on today's high. Overnight, partly cloudy and cool. We'll drop into the upper 20s, and then pretty windy on Thursday. Sunshine, and we're in the upper 50s, wind gusting to 40 miles an hour. We're in the mid-60s with sunshine on Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
Check out some of the Dollar Days savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Boxes of Kraft mac and cheese are 5 for $5, and select bags of Malto meal breakfast cereals are 2 for $10. In produce, heads of premium iceberg lettuce are $1 each, and snack size oranges are 5 for $1. In the meat department, family packs of whole boneless pork loins are $2 a pound, and family packs of fryer drumsticks or thighs are just $1 a pound. These are just some of the Dollar Days bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true. Trusted.
Attention Roswell. The all-new Roswell Ford is back and open for business for service, parts, and sales at our dealership at 821 North Main Street. Our goal for 2025 is to make buying a new Ford and quality pre-owned vehicle super fun, super fast, and super easy. In fact, we'll give you the price we give to a friend or family member right up front. Bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it. At Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with even more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Playing dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. Now you have a reason to invite Pitbull to your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Refuge, Lauren Dickinson back with us. Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Keeping warm?
Yeah.
I know. I am curious. How's the life at the refuge, at the home? Is the weather, is that place holding up okay to the weather and everything?
It is. We have been blessed. Shelter has been full.
Good. Well,
we've had
good
some
and bad.
people, yes, we've had some people get into their own housing.
Good.
So that is such a blessing.
That's the end game, is to get folks transitioned back into their own new lives, whatever that ends up to be after their time at the refuge here. So, but I know just over the time and things, that building needs constant upkeep and maintenance and things. And I know when we hit extreme weathers, things like heating and air conditioning might come into play. So I was just making sure heat's working well and everything is.
We've struggled with the heat, but I think Leslie is working on getting us some new units.
Okay.
And
I know we get folks that volunteer their time to come and do their stuff. So.
And that's wonderful.
And please keep reaching out and checking in. Obviously, because of the nature of what goes on there, there's a lot of privacy things, and so there's certain windows when you can and can't do things and all that kind of stuff.
Well, we'll do a background check there and make sure everything's good. And
But anyway, we would love that, and even like if you handyman services and things like that. I know there's always things like a leaky faucet or a fence that needs mending or a door.
Maybe a toilet seat breaks.
Yeah, exactly. And so those kinds of services are very greatly appreciated.
They are.
If you can donate that time and effort to, come in, whenever, as need basis or a monthly visit to come and tighten up things or whatever.
Spare time, just call us.
One thing I do want to ask too, I know it's done in the past and we've talked about, and then COVID put a real damper on a lot of stuff, but each resident, they have their rooms, their own little homes and within the home.
Yeah.
And those rooms need freshening up from time to time,
They do.
decorating, updating, you know, something that doesn't look like a jail cell or a prison,
No,
or decorated
definitely,
from
yes.
something that your grandmother would have decorated in the
Right.
70s.
Yeah.
So people love to volunteer, and, you know, maybe they've been told to stop it at their own houses.
Yes.
It's like, all right,
come, come do a bedroom.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's still available.
It is, absolutely.
And I would say even make it a fun thing. Maybe you, a group of friends, want to say, hey, let's do an extreme makeover
Yeah.
edition, our own thing.
And we've had some organizations in the past that have donated their time and material, and you know, got the money together to get the decorations and furniture, and that was amazing.
Yeah, and you don't realize those kind of efforts, what they do for the residents of the home. These are the kinds of things that's part of their lack of a better term, rehabilitation.
And
back
it's
to
used,
becoming back.
it's used 24/7.
Mhm.
So you can imagine that, you know, kind of like a hotel, stuff has to be replaced.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
wear and tear is part of it.
Absolutely,
So,
yeah. Bed posts
Yeah.
break here and there, and a
Mattresses.
light falls over, and mattress wears out after
Yeah.
time. That's just what happens. And so those things do need to be replaced. And so if you'd like to maybe adopt a room
call us.
I'd love to do that. You know, there's some rooms that are probably a little bit better shape that have been done more recently. There's probably some that are more in desperate need, but please keep getting involved in that kind of stuff. Again, all of that kind of stuff. And to be honest, this is the kind of stuff where the funding and all that, like they get funding like from government and other resources for a lot of programs and things, which is great and needed.
Yeah.
But where money gets tight is the day-to-day stuff.
Yes.
The food, the immediate needs of people, like the toiletries and bedding and towels and clothing and stuff like
deodorant and
blankets.
blankets.
The disposable needs, things that you have to replenish.
Socks.
Yeah.
Yes.
But even things like freezers and stoves and, you know, because
Wear and tear.
they cook for themselves, they
Yes.
have their own kitchen, and so sometimes the stove goes or the microwave goes out.
Yes, it
and
does.
and unfortunately, these pieces of equipment get used way more than any stove in your own home or any. So the shelf life of them
Constantly.
aren't as long as the stove in your home. And so
Yeah.
you really need sometimes commercial grade stuff in there.
Yes.
But you all know as well as I do, a commercial grade stove is about 10 times more than the one that you put in your home.
It is.
And so that's not always an option.
No.
But this is the kind of stuff that really, that's where the community can help. You know, yes, you know, programs and all that
And
stuff.
outside funding
But
and
yeah, to keep the day-to-day stuff going, to make sure the home is in good shape, to make sure there's a bed for when someone is in need that they can they can come and be at.
and we've been blessed by some really wonderful individuals. The Roswell Women's Club, they recently did a big drive for our hygiene goods.
Oh, great.
So we are stocked with shampoos and conditioners, and that's wonderful.
But don't think, even though they're good at the moment, that that ends.
There's other things that we
because
need.
every person that leaves when we'll call it
They take it
graduate.
with you.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
call it graduate. When they
Yeah.
graduate to their next phase in life.
Yeah.
They take everything that to help them get
They
started.
do. The deodorant, the
bedding.
socks,
They get to shop in the thrift store for if they need like small appliances or clothing or bedding or whatever that's in there and offer. So they get to establish where they're going next. So so that stuff needs to be replenished. So every time, it's not like these towels are being reused. You get towels, they're your towels to keep. We need new towels to replace the towels we just gave away.
Yeah.
Same thing with blankets. Same thing with the shampoos and conditioners and soaps and deodorants. One thing that if you do want to donate those kinds of things to the refuge, they do appreciate the travel size, and if you get those free and that's when to donate, fine. But if you're going to go out to purchase these things, grab the family size shampoo bottles, the soap kits, and all that, because like we said, they take them with them. This isn't them staying in a hotel room for a night.
Yeah.
This is them living in there for a month or two, maybe longer, depending on needs and things like that. So this is temporary housing. Up to 6 months in some cases.
Yes.
It just depends on
It is.
circumstances. And
Absolutely.
so we need things that will last 6 months.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the little toothpastes and the little soaps don't cut it.
No.
Now, if
But
that's
we
what you
still-
have,
we
take
still
them.
love it.
Sometimes this is another thing that nonprofits around town work with each other.
Yes, we do. We have some wonderful people that drop
And
stuff off
so,
to
like, residents may come to your refuge and they think, but then they'll say, hey, send them over to the Humane Society's one. They got some stuff, or send them over to one of the other thrift stores, and vice versa.
Yes.
So if you donate those travel things, you guys will probably end up giving to Harvest Ministries or one of the homeless that deal with homeless folks that they
Brief
can
encounters,
benefit more of those kinds of things. So so please, if that's what you have, bring it, and it will be put good use. If not directly at the refuge, then one of our other great organizations in our community.
Yes, we have some really great connections.
Yeah.
To help all the people in Roswell.
As far as needs right now, do you have a
Needs
kind of a
right
list
now. Yes,
or
I was given a list.
Yes,
So
good.
deodorant, toothpaste, blankets, pillows, socks, and a wagon. I know this is a funny request, but when individuals are bringing in, like, say, their groceries, or even the girls that are bringing in a grocery order,
Sure.
we need a wagon.
Makes
to
sense.
Pull or push it all the way to the back.
So something
That's a big trip bringing in groceries.
Yeah, because I know because even when you have like 6 bags on each arm and you're trying to
and imagine
and then you
all
gotta,
the gallons of milk and
then by the way, you're 3 times wider than you were, and
you
then you
have
try
to
to go through
unlock
the door and you're
doors
like, hold on, I can't get to the door now. Hold on.
Yeah.
And so yes, I can.
So I was like, a wagon would be perfect.
Absolutely. So maybe even 2, because you never know.
Something they could put all their groceries in, take it to the back.
Yeah.
Be much easier.
Absolutely. So if you have a wagon around that's still in good shape, or if you get a new one, please.
Or a cart. Something
anything
like that.
that's
that
got.
could be,
But it's got to be good enough wheels that can handle like driveways and sidewalks.
Yes, and that's what's happened. Is our wheels have fallen off.
Yeah, we don't want something that's just for like soft. Something that can handle a little off-roading. It doesn't have to be like big knobby tires.
No.
But something that can handle a little bit of sturdiness.
Yeah.
But this is the stuff they can always. Now, another thing I always like to tell folks too is that when it comes to donations and to like, they can't buy candy and buy things like, they can buy ingredients to make things, but here's the deal. These are kids here. There's and sometimes a candy bar does so if you'd like to donate sweets, things like that. Now they can make cakes and brownies, so if you want to donate sugar and all the stuff you need, but sometimes you just want like some M&Ms or a Reese's or a Kit Kat or Skittles or something. So believe it or not, getting those bags of candy or buying the little 6-pack of Hershey bars and all that kind of stuff, if you make those kind of donations direct, they can accept them. They can't go buy them on their own. They have, it's kind of like WIC, like certain things you're allowed to buy, certain things you aren't, and all that. But they can accept that as donations. So when it comes to food, if you do want to donate those things, trust me, those are very useful and very appreciated. And believe it or not, you're chipping away at healing these folks by candy bars. Weirdly enough, that it's all part of the big picture.
Small acts of kindness.
Yeah, it's showing people normalcy in life.
Or when
again.
the kids get home from school and hey, can I have a piece of candy?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gifts, things like that. I mean, don't think of toys and stuff like that. These are things too, because like we said, kids are also in the home.
We do. We get a lot of birthdays.
And that's the thing too. They like to make life in the home as normal as possible, especially for the kids.
Yes.
And so they celebrate birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving. These events are celebrated just like they are in your home. And unfortunately, we can't. There's not gifts and things. So people make donations of toys for boys, girls,
they do,
young toddlers to teenage, all in between. And so they have a gift on their birthday, and they have a cake, and they have a birthday party.
Yes.
Yeah,
just a little something. It shows that we care.
So all those things. Another great thing is, and this is a big hit, if you're in the like beauty industry.
Yes,
whether it's
haircuts,
makeovers, facials, makeovers, things like
need
that.
To practice.
Offering those services to these, most of them are ladies, not always, but most they're these mostly ladies that are in the home. Offering those chances for them to get the makeovers, to get this, also instills confidence. It chips away at the armor that they've put up for themselves.
Makes
to
them feel
protect
good
themselves.
too.
They trust in humanity again. When they see people that they never met or didn't know do random acts of kindness, it at first they're like, why? And then at second they're like, people actually care, and people, and then the next thing you know, their humanity comes back. And that's what we're doing here. And so
It is.
by you offering, hey, come through my dollar store
safety
and
and
come shop for dresses, or come in and let's get a haircut and a facial
Mm-hmm.
and a manicure or pedicure or whatever. Let those things
And sometimes it's something small like that makes such a big impact.
Well, it gives them confidence, especially because not only are these folks transitioning from their old situation, getting away from their support system and everything. That's part of the power struggle. And when we talk about domestic violence, a lot of it's power and control. All of it's power and control. Yeah, and so they've broken away from that. A lot of these folks don't have the means to be on their own, and so this is what they're getting back. And so they lack self-esteem, they lack confidence, they lack empathy sometimes because of what they've been put through. And so they've got to get all this back. And this is all,
and it takes time.
Yeah, and this is what that's what we're doing here. And so trust me, by you doing these little things, you are, and I'm going to tell you, when you talk to these people years later, it's like, what was it? There was this lady who just gave me a hair, and I just didn't, and now that kind of made me say, you know what, I'm going to be okay. And it's little things like that that do that. So please help experience that by, if you offer that, or same with food and stuff.
Or even at a discounted rate too. I mean, we'll figure out a way to.
We'll figure, because I get it. We're business. You got to eat too and all that. But maybe we can help each other out on some of this stuff. But if you want to get involved, this is a great way to give back and help out.
Please contact us.
We
would love to have you.
It is so much because you're creating success stories here. Yes. You're preventing.
And you're meeting some great people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're ever so slowly making our October candlelight vigil that much smaller.
Yes.
That much smaller, where there's not as need for this kind of
right.
things. And so one thing I do want to, before we talk about tickets and all that, is don't forget the Roswell Refuge. As I said, they help victims of domestic violence. They also help offenders and things.
We do.
One thing I want to make sure everyone knows, and you put this and write it down or keep it in your phones, if you do low tech or high tech, however you do it, the Roswell Refuge has a 24/7 crisis hotline.
We do.
It is for victims. It is for anyone that is got questions about a domestic violence situation.
Yeah.
Whether you yourself maybe are witnessing something and maybe you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Please call us.
Yeah, please call. They'll be happy to. If you yourself are a victim of domestic violence in any way, shape, or form, that hotline is there for you to talk. And the thing I want to stress is, when it comes to that hotline, you're the boss. Yeah. You, the caller, are the one in control.
Yeah. And it's confidential too, so that's wonderful.
It's absolutely confidential. But if you just want to talk, the person on the other side will be there to listen.
Yes, they will.
If you're ready to maybe make a change,
call us.
The person on the other side is ready to help you do that. Or somewhere in between those two things.
Give you some guidance. If
that's
you're
what
willing
it's
to
there for.
Yeah.
And conversely, maybe you're an abuser, or maybe you're seeing yourself go down that path, and you're like, I want to fix this.
Yeah.
Call that hotline. We have that side too, because this is the thing, and we say this every time. And I know I'm talking a lot here, but I just want to get this message out: is domestic violence is a reciprocal thing.
Yeah.
Odds are the people that are abusers were probably abused as children, or in another point in their life.
Yes, it's very cyclic.
And I'm not trying to justify or excuse abusers, because you don't. But at the same time, if you're raised a certain way and all you know is what you know,
there are interventions. We can get you some help. Relearn.
Maybe it's time to say, that's what we're saying is it's not, being naive of something is not excuse for being an abuser. It's if you
There's
know
no
it.
excuse for the ignorance.
Yeah. If it's you knowing it, not doing anything about it. That's
my grandparents were like this. Well, my parents were like this.
Yeah,
those days are of the past. Well, they should be.
Sure.
Right? We all have to heal and move forward.
And that's where the world we're living in.
And take personal accountability.
So it's easy to judge an abuser.
It is.
But walk in that shoe for a minute and let's understand. And please understand, I'm not condoning, I'm not excusing for these things. All I'm saying is you don't know the whole story. People aren't always evil just to be evil. If they don't know anything better, in their head, this rationalizes correct for them.
Absolutely.
And just because you
bad tradition
have experienced different, you understand the difference. This person deep down doesn't.
Yeah.
They may say it, but deep down it's not registering. It's not sinking in. To me, to them deep down this feels the way. This is the way. This is something in their brains clicking, and we need to fix that. And that's
we do,
what's
and
going
they have to
on.
ask for help.
Yep.
Or be engaged enough to say, "Hey, I can make these changes. Let's do it together."
So please, so when you see folks that are recovering on that side, and there is an abuser program where they're meet and everything else,
there is.
Celebrate these people too, because they are. And here's the thing: if you come of your own volition, it's like free or whatever.
Free.
There's no cost.
Yeah.
There's nothing. If you were saying, and so even if you've never abused, but you were abused. And I would even say, you know what? If you're having the feelings,
yeah, we have an empowerment program.
Let's
too.
talk about it. Let's
yes.
talk about that.
Yes,
and that's what the refuge does. So it's not just.
Yes.
I mean, it's
not
all
just
for that.
Victims. Yes.
There's one other aspect that I want to mention every time of refuge before we get in this too is the SANE program.
Yes.
And this is another. It's different from the refuge. It's its own thing, but it's partnered with the refuge. It umbrellas
important.
And works with it. And this is dealing with victims of sexual assault. This is first and foremost, they deal with the health and safety of the victim.
Yes.
Making sure they're medically taken care of, making sure they're not at health risk,
yes.
emotionally, physically, and all of the above there. That's priority one. Priority two is if the victim wishes to pursue criminal matters against
gathering forensic. Yeah.
This is what they do is they collect that evidence and they do it
do.
in a way that is much more because let's face it, this is an invasive thing. If we're talking rape or other sex, the evidence collecting can be a little
sensitive.
impersonal as well too. They do it in a way that helps the victim go through it, and really and
to
me,
victims of all ages.
Yeah,
I mean,
to me, it's the volunteers and the people that work through this.
Yes,
they're not
Kimberly
all volunteers.
Hansen
Some
and
are
her
paid.
staff are
They do such great work, but these are the people we need to watch. Because of the type of work they deal with, it's easy to jade. It's easy to have your own
that
mental.
vicarious trauma. I mean,
It's easy
latch
to
on.
deteriorate your own mental health.
Yes.
So I so appreciate them folks, but let's check in on them. Hopefully their families. I'm sure they have good support systems to make sure they are staying in where they need to be too. But anyway, this is all part of the refuge umbrella. So when you make those donations of cakes and candy and toiletries and
what it's going towards.
Absolutely. Yes. Another way you can contribute is right now we got a raffle for Valentine's Day. This is an annual tradition at the refuge, your Valentine's Day raffle.
We are introducing a couple raffles a year. We just did our Father's Day raffle for the grill. That went awesome.
That was almost a year ago, by the way. That was in June.
That was in June. Oh my gosh. Time is fleeting.
It was at least 6 months ago anyway.
Wow.
But yeah.
Okay, it feels like yesterday.
I know.
So this year we're doing that Valentine's Day raffle, that play on words for that 70s dance. So I wanted to keep it in there.
Keep it in the theme.
Yeah. Graciously, Behringer's Blossom Shop has donated us a bouquet of flowers, some assorted chocolates.
Yeah.
You also get entered to win, and this is all together.
Yeah.
A $40 Texas Roadhouse gift certificate and a $50 Antigua gift certificate.
So it's like a multiple.
Yeah, you get like a
Valentine's
basket of
Day
goodies.
experience.
Yeah.
Because you get the flowers and accoutrement, but
yeah.
I'm sorry.
You get the two. You could do appetizers at Texas Roadhouse.
I was about to say you could.
Or drinks, whatever.
You could do the food crawl.
Yeah.
I was thinking make 2 nights out of it.
And
maybe.
they're close.
Yeah, that's true.
So
but have an Antigua night and then have a Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of food.
That is.
And so I say that's 2 dates. You got 2 dates out of it.
That is.
So.
Don't be gluttonous like I want to be.
Although I like where your head's at because I'm thinking, I
want to eat the chocolates all the way
let's
to
go
Texas
get a steak
Roadhouse.
and a blossom down here, and then we'll head on down, get some enchiladas.
Yes.
Chips
and salsa. We got a plan.
Yeah, I like it.
But yeah, $10 a ticket. We are going to announce the winner here on the radio with you.
Yes, here on the 12th.
On the 12th of February, which is my birthday, which is
well,
so funny.
Happy early birthday.
They said, well, you're going to be on the radio for your birthday. I said, well, that'll be just fine.
Oh,
that's fun.
Very nice.
So drawing will be held here.
Okay.
February 12th.
Tickets are only $10.
$10.
You can go to the refuge office. There's
there's
the home.
And they're so cute.
Yeah, that's right. You got them
they're really cute.
But there is the home where the home is, but then there's the offices there.
Come to the office.
On if you go down Garden and it's like on the corner
College,
there.
1215 North Garden. You'll turn on the
I'm so bad with road names and things. I know where it's
south.
at. Yeah. But you can go there and get
Culligan.
tickets. That's also where the refuge thrift store is. So if you're wanting to do a
or
little
if you
shopping,
need a restraining order,
or if you do
packet,
need a restraining order and those
or
kinds
sign
of
up for groups.
any business
That's where we do it.
with the refuge, you do it at the office.
Yes.
The home is really the public's not invited there.
private home.
Yeah, it's not a public place.
Yeah, that's why we take donations at our office and sort them. If someone has said, "Hey, I don't want this to go into the thrift store," it doesn't go then into the thrift store.
It'll go directly to the.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of the thrift store too. You can shop there and all the money that you spend in there goes back to programs and the things that we're talking about at the refuge.
Yeah.
But you can donate those now. I'm assuming Kay's still holding the fort down for the refuge thrift store here.
Yeah.
They are very limited on space.
They are. We've had to tell the public that we can't take clothing right now.
So that's why
so
before you
much.
donate, I invite you to
Just
call the office. Ask for Kay Galindo. She's the keeper of the thrift store.
Yeah.
And talk to her because it may be like, hey, I love to have that bed. But can you hold on to it for a couple weeks
and if
until
we don't
can
have a
room?
means to get it, we don't have a truck and trailer.
Or maybe there's another way where we can do a direct thing where you have a resident or a person that's about to move in,
amazing
and they need a bed, and you're like, I got one. Well, maybe we can go and say, hey, can we get it directly shipped to her new home or their new home there? So whatever that is.
Yeah.
But anyway, please reach out to Kay if you've got those kind of logistics on stuff like that. But anyway, what do you know off the top of your head what the store hours are if you just want to come and shop?
They are 9 to 2.
9 to 2.
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday. You can come on in during that
Come
time.
see Stella.
And while you're there, make sure you get a raffle ticket or two.
Yes.
Here. They're only $10. And regardless of what your Valentine's Day plans, this will keep you out of the doghouse.
For real. Wouldn't you like to say, look, babe, I won?
That's right.
What do you mean you won? Yeah.
Yeah. Or lie and just say, I thought of all these things
I'm
for
gonna
you on
text
my
my
holiday.
ex-husband and be like, you really need to buy one of these for your girlfriend.
That's right. I think
she bought one for him for the grill.
I
so-
like it.
Yeah.
And again, at the end of the day, you're helping victims
Absolutely.
of domestic violence and sexual assault through
Yeah.
all of this stuff.
Anyone could benefit.
Yeah, and trust me, it's so cool to see the success stories, to see these because these
It
folks
is.
they
Oh
come
my
in, they're
goodness.
broken, they don't have a place
Yeah.
to turn, they're feeling at wit's end, they're choiceless, they're you know they a lot of times they come in with children.
And then what do you do as a parent that you are this broken
Yes.
mess, so to speak?
How do I
going
pick
through
up
this,
the pieces?
And
Yeah.
you have children, you know?
And that's where it really hurts them.
Yeah.
Because if it was them by themselves, they're like, "What's
That's
just
one
me?"
thing.
You know, yeah. But when you got kids in tow,
Yes,
then
and
it
it affects
changes.
your kids,
Yes, it's
and-
absolutely
yeah.
true, and so these when they do make that decision to break away from whatever quote unquote security they
wanna
have
be
right
there to
now,
support them.
that's what we want to do.
Because
And
life's
so,
hard enough.
yeah. But
Oh,
literally,
gosh.
these kids they come in with just the shirt, the clothing on their back, and
Yeah.
that's it. And so by you making these donations,
socks,
these towels,
no shoes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really maybe
Yeah.
not even a coat at this time of year, underdressed.
Yes.
That's not uncommon. This is what they see on a
Leaving
regular
the house
basis.
because maybe all their stuff got destroyed in a fight.
Yeah,
and, you know,
exactly. This is, and I'm going to take a
and
stab.
that's not uncommon.
When extreme weather and extreme conditions like we've experiencing, cold, flooding, and all that,
Ice.
they exasperate these domestic violence
They do.
situations. When life
do.
gets hard, everything gets hard,
Yes.
including tempers, including
Yes.
rational thinking,
Money.
including-
We've just
money.
spent all this money on
Yeah.
holidays
So
and yeah.
with the strain creates more abuse.
Yes.
So
Even if you want to discuss a safety plan, maybe you're not ready to leave,
Mhm.
but you need a safety plan for what if. What if it happens again? Call us.
Absolutely.
We'd
It's-
love to help give you a safety plan.
This is
and
the
walk-
beauty of it.
Walk through
is
some resources.
if they're alive, it's never too late.
That's right.
And this is it. And unfortunately,
And you may feel like you're stuck, but there is a way out.
exactly, no hole is too deep.
No.
If you can call,
And it may
then we
take
can
6
fix
to
it.
7 times. It may take 10.
Yep.
There's no judgment.
Well, and because you, and for folks that just trying to run out of time, but folks that you're building, the victims of domestic violence have figured out ways to navigate their life.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of times it's putting up shells. It's hardening your own emotions.
Mhm.
It is, taking the beating, and especially with kids. If you got kids in tow, it's not uncommon for we're going to say the mother in this situation, taking the beating to keep the child from getting that.
Yes.
And doing those kinds of things, and after it happening on a regular basis, your brain, I'm not saying normalizes it, but that's what
Well,
it does.
it's rewired to think it's okay.
it's the weird, like if you've watched that movie Shawshank Redemption, they talk about being institutionalized.
Yes,
and all that. In essence, that's a
Yes.
version of that is what's going on.
Yeah.
Is they don't know any better.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not ideal situation, but it's the situation I know, and you know what?
Yes.
I have a roof
and
over
you're
my
in
head.
a state of flight or fight.
Yeah.
You know, which typically a person isn't going to have those types of emotions making a general, decision.
Absolutely.
But when you're in those modes, everything is panic.
It's flight or flight.
Yeah.
You're absolutely and by nature,
Higher
domestic
stress.
violence situations are the power struggle and the power dichotomy. That balance.
The use of children, the use of money.
Yeah. And the abuser generally will be in control of the money, control
Finding
of the
power over something.
Convincing
anything.
their partner that they cannot live on their own without
Stripping
this
away
person.
their support.
And so
yes.
you're trying to get them to escape that mindset. And
Yes.
sometimes, like you said,
They can do it.
sometimes you can do it one phone call. Sometimes it takes 8.
That's
sometimes
okay.
it takes a month.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes 6 months.
I'm hard-headed. I get it. Sometimes it takes a few
Yeah.
rounds.
And let's
to
face it,
understand.
I'm going to say that they were lured into situations and didn't come out the way they wanted to. So
Yeah.
trust, especially from someone they never met on the other side of a phone.
Yeah.
And they also are probably thinking, well, yeah, you think you can help me, but you don't know this person.
Mhm.
You don't know the lengths of which they
danger.
will do and
Yes.
at the lengths of which they will go. And so there's that back and forth. And so this is the struggle. This is the fight. This is what we're trying to get rid of. So
Yeah.
anytime you're making those donations, anytime you go out in public and you see things that just don't seem right,
call.
don't ignore it. Talk to a manager. Talk to law
Yes.
enforcement.
Talk to the police.
We're not asking you to get in there and step in
No.
between a fight,
No.
but tell people of authority, tell people that can get people
Yeah.
in to
Speak
say
out.
that. And please don't worry about it being your business or not business, because if it is and law enforcement will do their investigation.
They will, and they will tell you, hey, mind your business.
It was a big, what?
Yeah.
It was a big misunderstanding. We're all good.
But do your due diligence.
But if you just saw the first clue that slipped out of this person that's been abusing this other person, and it kind of got in the public, and now they have a public forum to maybe
Yes.
make some awareness and
Trust your gut.
Yeah, this you just saved a life.
Yes.
Because unfortunately,
That feeling you get when you see it, that feeling typically is never
yeah, you know
wrong.
it. You know it.
Yes.
You don't
Call,
seem right. It
talk,
doesn't. It's like
ask.
that's not normal behavior between
Yeah.
two loving people.
No.
That's just not how it goes.
No.
And, that's and you see it. And you see it, and I get it. Some people are ready. It's like, all right, but on this one, just alert someone. Let them deal with it. Let them sort it out.
Yeah.
And let them make sure that if it is nothing, then it's nothing. But if it's something, then we can get people
Get you some
saved.
tools.
This is you gotta.
We don't have to wait till someone's court ordered or.
Well, and this is why
dead
domestic
or-
violence is where it is. It's lived in the shadows. It's lived. It's
Very
the thing of which we
taboo.
don't speak. I'm going to say,
It's a
if
private matter.
20, 30 years ago, we all knew someone. It's like, oh, well, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah.
Thing, and so that's where we're combating, and that's what we're coming out of. And so we're way behind the 8 ball on getting
Being
this
abused is not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what this is about from both perspectives.
Yes.
So please go out, reach out. Look for the Roswell Refuge on Facebook. If you want to get a hold, you can reach out there and say, hey, I want a raffle ticket, and someone will reach out to you and get out. Or if you have any questions.
Our office number, 575-624-3222.
Yeah.
I'll give the crisis line, 575-627-8361.
Yep. And that is
call us.
available 24/7, day or night.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever
Call
you
us.
want. Now, the office number is not. That's normal, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday business hours.
Yeah.
But if you do need restraining orders, if you do need
Call
any of that
us.
kind of stuff, come by the main office. If you'd like to shop the thrift store, or if you'd like to make donations, or if you're in need,
Yes, call
please
us.
reach out, and they'd be happy to help you there.
Absolutely.
Good deal.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Did we get it all? Anything?
I think so. I think
Excellent.
we got it all out.
Well, we'll see you here next time, and tell all the folks and everyone there we're so thankful for what
Thank
they do.
you for letting us do it.
Yeah, we're they do great work over there, and it's so great to see. And to be honest, I always say when people, and I've been talking a lot about the New Year's resolutions, and if your resolution is to get more involved in your community,
We'd love to have you.
the refuge can have a few places that they can find
Yeah.
that you can volunteer. Maybe it's some of the stuff we talked at the beginning, renovating
Yes.
a room or something like that.
Yeah.
But maybe it's something as simple as maybe sitting in on some of these sessions and things.
Yeah.
Maybe you,
Or you just want to donate.
yeah,
You don't
maybe you
want to do
donate.
anything.
Yeah, you want to come and here's a bag of towels and
Yes.
clothing or whatever. All of
Yeah.
that's needed. So, thank you very much.
We appreciate you.
All right, it is 9:53. This morning's kind of zipped by, man.
It has.
Seemed like 6
I feel
o'clock.
like I just woke up.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I was like, when I just roll out of bed like a minute ago.
Alrighty, so what time do you want me to come the 12th?
Oh, we'll figure that out. Hold on here. Let me go to a commercial break
Okay.
and then we'll do that. All right, 9:54. Let's pause for news and a quick break before we get kicked off the radio. Don't go away.
Running a business is tough. Operational demands change fast, and keeping up can feel impossible. That's where DSI comes in. We've been helping local businesses thrive for over 25 years. You might know us for printer products, but we're your one-stop shop for cutting-edge office technology. From managed IT to video security, audio-visual technology, and more, DSI has everything you need. We're flexible, local, and have the resources of a national corporation. Be more productive. Make more money. DSI, the heartbeat of business. Visit
The Eagles are
DSINM.com.
proving to be a dominant force in basketball again. Boys and girls last night played Roswell. It's the district opener for both teams. And unfortunately for Roswell, it did not go well. The girls fell at home to Hobbs by a score of 85-39. The Hobbs girls are 20-1. That makes Roswell's record 13-8 going into their second district contest, and that'll be against Carlsbad. Meanwhile, the Roswell boys hit the hardwood at Hobbs and lost by a score of 91-73. Roswell is now 16-5 overall. They'll play at Carlsbad Friday at 7. Other scores from last night, it was Hagerman falling at home to a tough Texaco team 73-48. Texaco is 13-1 overall. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Roswell's home for talk radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
I'm Rex Thomason. Despite all of the money spent on education, America's schools still get an unsatisfactory grade on the nation's report card, a closely watched national assessment of educational progress.
Reading scores fell 2 points on a scale of 500, with a third of 8th grade students scoring below basic. One bright spot, 4th graders notched a 2-point improvement in math. The results can't be blamed entirely on the pandemic. A 2022 survey found fewer young students are reading for enjoyment, and those who are chronically absent struggle the most. Ray Hart with the Council of Great City Schools says efforts like intensive tutoring programs have helped make a difference in some districts. I'm Jennifer King.
President Trump's attempt to launch a review of government spending has been put on hold by a federal judge. The administration proposes a freeze on grants and loans during the review. Excluded from the freeze, Social Security, Medicare, and food stamps, student loans, and scholarships. The spending review is itself frozen until at least Monday, per the judge's order. The Trump administration seems to think the federal government could get along with a smaller workforce, something less than the current 2 million plus employees.
The White House is offering buyouts worth 8 months of salary to all federal employees who opt to act on the offer by February 6th in an effort to shrink the size of government.
Correspondent Lisa Dwyer. President Trump's nominee for Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is before the Senate Finance Committee today. Also today, the Senate Judiciary Committee votes on Attorney General nominee Pam Bondi, deciding whether to advance her nomination to the full Senate for a final vote. The White House is making it clear that anyone who broke the law by entering the country illegally is subject to deportation. On Wall Street, stocks are mixed. The Dow trading about 39 points higher, while the Nasdaq is down 113 points, and the S&P is off 14. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
At least 30 people are dead, many injured, in a stampede at a Hindu religious festival in India.
Many died after rushing to take a holy bath in the river. Police tried to manage the crowds as rescuers helped the injured. Distressed families lined up outside the hospital, inquiring about their relatives. In the chaos, one pilgrim, Jay Prakash, couldn't find his mother after the stampede. The Maha Kumbh festival, held every 12 years, started on January the 13th. It's the world's largest religious gathering, with 50,000 security personnel to maintain order and manage crowds. I'm Karen Shamas.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has inspected a facility that produces nuclear material. North Korean state media reports the dictator is calling for bolstering the country's nuclear capability. Many analysts view North Korean weapons moves part of a strategy to win sanctions relief and political concessions from the West. News and analysis at townhall.com. One Israeli insider says the Jewish state has been traumatized by the Hamas terror attack.
Israel's former ambassador to the U.S., Dr. Michael Oren, predicts
it's going to take us a long time to heal.
Oren says Hamas has been waging its own form of psychological warfare.
It's a roller coaster, this emotional roller coaster.
And the latest news from Hamas amid the ceasefire hostage deal?
8 of the 33 they're scheduled to give back are dead.
For many Israelis, that turned their happiness to heartache.
We're not going to have the same joy if when the ambulance doors opens, it's not a person who gets out of the box.
Dr. Oren spoke with the Salem Radio Network. Val Agnew reporting.
A cross-border conservation project focusing on barn owls is fostering cooperation between Israeli and Arab researchers. They're looking at ways to boost the global population of the owls that hunt rodents in crop fields. It's a natural alternative to pesticides. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Oh, so happy Wednesday.
Yes.
Hope your day's going just swell.
Indeed.
Super swell.
Good,
exactly.
Good wrestling night tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Tonight's your wrestling night.
Basically just my excuse to, all my friends and family just leave me alone for, 2 hours.
Speaking of TV shows, like one of the ones that Kim and I have started watching and when it came out, we kind of dig, is there's a show called High Potential.
Oh, yeah.
And it stars, I can't remember the actor's name, but if you like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's the sister
her name
in that,
is,
that show.
Caitlin Olsen.
Yeah, she's the star of the show. And the premise of the show, and it's very much like, your network dramas, cop, atypical of your NCISs or your, the spin on this one, though, is is she is a actually she started out as a maid, cleaning the police office, but she has an eidetic memory, and so she ends up solving cases. And so that's basically the maid solving the case as well.
Right.
Obviously, as the episodes progress, she goes from maid to being a part of the force. But that's kind of the premise of the show.
It's funny that they're finally giving her something that makes her look like a smart person.
Yes, she's but it's still her personality a little bit, where it's that smart alecky. She's kind of, her life's a little bit in shambles, where her relationship with her kid and her, that kind of thing, and so. It's different. Like she's a single mom trying to be the single mom raising her 2 kids kind of thing, and that lifestyle. And where she's a genius, she's also made decisions that have, put her where she is, kind of thing. And so that's the kind of the premise of the show. And there's a deal where her husband was killed or something. And so there's an underlying where she's trying to find who did it kind of thing. So that's the premise of the show. But anyway, I bring this up because they had a new episode last night and we watched it.
Right.
And they kind of did it in a style. I'm not going to lie, don't do that again. It was annoying.
Okay.
So what it was they did it in that style of the whodunit style, like where they really were reading the stage direction as they were telling, I don't know why they did it this way, but they did it this way. And it was kind of, by the end of the episode, I was like, don't do that again. That was annoying. But basically, so it's basically they're doing the scene and you're watching it like you normally would, but there's literally and it almost sounds like a computerized voice. Sarah now picks up the document. She looks puzzled. And, they're doing that the whole time.
Okay.
With the thing in the style.
Did you?
It's not, it's the episode. Because I looked in the captions and it said, done in a whodunit style is what they quoted.
Okay.
So it was, because I asked the same question. My kid was like, did you set something, or are we doing some smart computer thing?
Here's
or some,
the thing. There
some
was
closed caption nonsense. What's
there was
going
a
on
period
here?
of time where Rhiannon decided to kind of mess with her settings on TV. And she set it to where, I guess there's, for accessibility purposes, a blind setting where a robotic voice will describe everything that's happening.
And I thought that's what this was. And I was like, check the settings and all that.
Yeah.
It's that show.
Oh,
because I
that's
literally went to
very
other shows,
odd.
watched for a minute, it wasn't doing it. And then I looked in the info and it said, done in a whodunit style. Like, whodunit style. They did this on purpose.
It's a style choice. It's like, it's kind of, and that scares me that they're still, this is the first season, right?
Yes.
It scares me that they're in the first season and they're already going to this length.
Yeah.
Because a lot of series, what they'll do to stretch out a season, there are certain types of episodes that a director or showrunner will do to stretch out a number of episodes.
Right.
Usually it's to get to syndication.
Well, and here's the thing. That makes sense because also this is a brand new show.
Right.
And I'm going to take a stab. They only ordered a couple shows and then it got good.
And they were like, we got to put something together.
And so maybe this is a product of that.
That could be.
I don't know.
That could be. But a lot of times you'll see like an episode in a series, they'll just randomly be a musical episode. Sabrina the Teenage, not Sabrina, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was famous for doing one of those.
And to be honest, if you like the Walking Deads and those types of shows, they always do that. Like every season, there's this one-off show that it's related to the story, but it kind of isn't.
Yeah.
And it like will take a faction of something and just give you a little backstory for the whole episode, and then go back to the regular story the next episode.
For Stranger Things fans, season 2, episode 7.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say, because they're like, oh yeah, I understand exactly what you're talking about, because
Walking Dead was infamous for doing that.
That's when you meet all the other number kids.
Yeah.
But
The Rest of Us did one episode like that. That's one that made a bunch of people mad.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I thought was one of the best episodes.
One of my favorite shows in the entire world is the show Community.
Yeah.
And it's because Dan Harmon is such just a genius when it comes to directorial styles that he'll do a thing and then he'll tell you what he's doing when he's doing it.
Right.
Like they do an episode where Annie loses her pen.
Yeah.
And she accuses everybody of stealing it.
I remember that episode.
And the whole thing is Abed's talking about doing a bottle episode.
Yeah.
A bottle episode in Hollywood speak is when all of the action is contained within one room, and it's to save on production costs. It's to get another episode into the count.
Sure.
But the fact that Jeff goes, "We're doing a bottle episode," one of my favorite jokes in the entirety of television history.
Peels back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I love those. They're just like, all right, we know we're a show.
I have a long interview, so we got to go. But I want to tell you this. You know, Abed's on a new show now.
I know. I saw the preview.
Going Dutch.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode, I know I saw the first one. I think I saw the second one.
Okay.
It's meh.
Yeah.
It's meh. It's they're trying. They're trying. They're trying to make it a smart Sergeant Bilko, and it just doesn't resonate with me. But maybe other people are digging it.
I'll have to check it out. Can I tell you about a sighting in the wild that happened yesterday?
Yeah.
We're watching St. Denis Medical, and there's an episode where these two prisoners are brought to the hospital because they had gotten into a fight with each other.
Right.
And I didn't realize it until Misty pointed it out halfway through the episode. One of the dudes, the fatter Mexican guy, it's the dude from Half Baked.
Oh.
Yeah, Cuban B. It's him. It's him. I was like, nuh-uh. And then you look and you hear him talk. He's like, it's him. He's still with us.
I didn't know he was still acting.
Yeah,
I thought maybe he went off and did his life and lived his, now he's a business exec at some Fortune 500 company.
He's a large fella now.
Oh, he got big, huh?
Yeah.
Guess the munchies kicked in. Too much Billy Bong Thornton, yo. Too much Billy Bob Thornton, B. All right, we're going to replay our interview we had with Greg Birch and author Cindy Sloan Butts. They joined us talking about some of their latest stuff. So we're going to play that here in a minute. But before we do, let's get you up to date with the weather, and then we'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll play that interview on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little fog possible early today. We have a low-pressure system moving north of us. Mix of sunshine and clouds for the afternoon, and we'll be in the mid to upper 50s on today's high. Overnight, partly cloudy and cool. We'll drop into the upper 20s, and then pretty windy on Thursday. Sunshine, and we're in the upper 50s, wind gusting to 40 miles an hour. We're in the mid-60s with sunshine on Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Attention Roswell, the all-new Roswell Ford is back and open for business for service, parts, and sales at our dealership at 821 North Main Street. Our goal for 2025 is to make buying and servicing your new Ford and quality pre-owned vehicle super fun and super easy. In addition, Roswell Ford is a fun place to work, and right now, we're on the lookout for experienced, hardworking English, Spanish, and bilingual service technicians. To add to our team, we offer top pay and benefits, including sign-on bonuses for experienced full-time service technicians, as well as healthcare, dental, vision, and generous paid vacation and matching 401k retirement. Stuck in a dead-end job? If you're a highly motivated service tech who's a team player, come grow with us at Roswell Ford and be part of Roswell's most dynamic service team. What are you waiting for? To apply, stop by Roswell Ford. Apply online at roswellford.com or call 575-623-3673 today. Get on board at the all-new Roswell Ford, now open for service, parts, and sales at 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or visit us online at roswellford.com. Roswell Ford conducts pre-employment background checks and drug screenings and is an equal opportunity employer.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender, loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. Fergalicious. In fact, they're downright funky. Fergalicious. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 632-2660. Fergalicious.
Hi, I'm Chef Anthony Noble at the Valley Cafe located at 801 West Brasher in Roswell. We want to welcome you for dinner 5 to 8 p.m. weekdays, except Wednesday we close at 2 p.m. If you haven't tried our food yet, I hope you come try one of our dinner entrees, pasta, soups, salads, burgers, and sandwiches, and our weekly specials as well. Let me make you great dinner. Visit the Valley Cafe at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell.
Can't see us in person? Find our full menu on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 24/7, staffed with highly trained professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com.
So you've got questions about the birds and the bees? What would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben Manette with Roswell Seed Company.
If Jim was here, he'd tell you that it's time to order your bees. You'll get a 3-pound box of live bees and a queen, and that's enough to start a hive. As for the birds, we're talking about baby chicks. Not only are they cute as can be, they'll soon be supplying your family with fresh eggs. So come see us at Roswell Seed and find out all about the birds and the bees.
Time to drive into 2025 with Roswell Hyundai. The lot is loaded with an amazing selection of new and pre-owned vehicles with special financing that means you can lock in low and save. Like 3.99% for up to 60 months on all new Hyundai Sonata, Palisade, or Elantra. 2.99% for up to 60 months on all new Hyundai Santa Cruz. Or lock in low with 2.49% for up to 60 months on all new Hyundai Tucson and Santa Fe. Drive in, trade up, and lock in low. Drive into 2025 with Roswell Hyundai. 1909 West 2nd.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, artist Greg Birch back with us. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
And then back with us on the phone as well is author Cindy Sloan Butts. Good morning, Cindy. Can you hear us okay?
I can. Thank you very much.
Good morning. And how's the weather and life up north this morning?
Well, I'm looking out my office window, and it's pretty cloudy, but it's supposed to be a high of 37 today. Ooh. And no precipitation. So I can't complain too much about that.
Well, good. Well, we actually got you beat by like a whole 4 or 5 degrees there. So come on down and have a pina colada when this where it's warm down here in the 40s.
Okay. All right. Let me just stick my phone in my car, and I'm on my way.
All right. Perfect. Very good. Of course, for folks not familiar, we've had, both of you guys on several times here. And, of course, you've authored many books, Cindy. You live up north here in Albuquerque, up in that area. And, of course,
yes.
What the cool part is you cover some various subjects, and you guys have kind of formed a little bit of a partnership where pretty much everything lately that Cindy's been writing, you're the one that gives the cover art, gives the book its party suit, so to speak, kind of thing. You know?
Well, I try to give it
dress clothes,
justice.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for Greg for that reason, and ever since he started doing the book covers, he's created a whole new image for my work and a whole new, let's call it, reason to purchase my work, because his work is so good.
How many of us,
thank you.
Oh, that's what I don't know for people that are readers, and I'm a reader, and obviously people read books based off recommendations, things like that, and sure, but anyone that reads on a regular basis, sometimes you just walk the shelves and you see what looks exciting to you, and that's where where Greg's work comes in, because you could, Cindy, you could have the most amazing story on those covers, but if there's not something that draws the eye to want people to open that book, then and that's where as a reader, I'll tell you every time I'll be walking, like even if you're like in Walmart or wherever, like their little book section, and you're walking by and you're like, ooh, that looks interesting. What's that? And you grab the cover and kind of that's invites people into the story. So it really I don't think people don't realize how important that cover art is, and really that's the difference between someone reading your book and not reading your book sometimes. So.
Absolutely, I agree completely. The only problem is for those who are, let's call it, more superficial than contextual, for people who are looking for great books, if they, for whatever reason, if the taste fairy says, yeah, I don't like the cover, then they're going to keep walking past the book.
Yeah.
Which is the only downside. But you could say the same thing about the title of the book, that if whatever the title is doesn't appeal to your taste fairy, the cover is irrelevant.
Well, there is that saying, don't judge a book by its cover, and that is true, and you should always do it because you'll miss some good stuff. But it sure does, when you have a guy like Greg, you don't have to worry about that problem. You just...
Absolutely.
You guys are being too nice now.
But I would have... But like you said, Cindy, I would imagine you probably get a little bit more recognition or things because of some of the artwork Greg has done. Like it gets a little flash
There's
on
no
the shelf,
question.
doesn't it? Yeah, it does make
There's
it.
no question about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially because the first book I wrote, my daughter happily did the cover for it, and I like it a lot.
Right.
But the three that followed that, I did myself. And, my talents are best left in verbal areas and not visual.
I understand completely. Yeah.
The covers are less than, let's call it, attractive, especially compared to Greg's.
But here's the cool part is because this is how readers work, so they read one of your later books here that Greg has done the artwork for, and then they start reading your flow, your style, how you tell a story, and that's where you hook them in, and then they say, oh, I got to check out more of Cindy's books. And now they're like, even those early ones that maybe the artwork's not up to snuff compared to you know what I'm saying? They're like,
absolutely,
the story. So
absolutely,
it all begats that. It's how they, people learn about you, and so hopefully, and that's how I know. I mean, like whatever your favorite author is, whether it's a Stephen King or whatever the national James Patterson's or whatever out there, you all found one of their books the first time, and it was something that drew you to you, and now you get to a point where you're like, I don't care what the person puts out. If their name's on it, I'm going to read it, and that's what happens. So that's
as an author, that's what I hope for.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm thinking some of this will get a few more folks to get to that level. So which I invite you to do, because I think for right now, for people living in Roswell, probably the best way to get this book that we're about to talk about and in your other books is really online right now, right?
Right.
Good deal.
Right.
Through Amazon or anything. There is what's the name of the bookstore in Albuquerque that a lot of your works are featured at?
Treasure House Books in Old Town.
Okay.
Has all of my books.
So that's because I know and I'm one of these people. Sometimes you like to, kick the tires a little bit. You like to pick up the book and smell it. Do you know what I mean? You got to do your thing. So if you love that, then hit that bookstore, and then you can get like all of that. And there's probably some other great authors and books you probably want to check out while you're in there.
He specializes in New Mexican authors.
That's great. And
so that's a bonus. That's a plus.
I imagine there's probably a few John LeMays up there as well too. One of our local historical folks down here.
Oh yes.
So let's talk about the latest one here. This is the Versailles book we were talking. We talked a little bit about this last time. I think we had a conversation, right?
Well, I was working on it, as I suspect, because I'm always working on something.
Yeah, I kind of remember we kind of touched on it here. So let's pull back the curtain here, rather than because for people that don't remember our last conversation. Todd, this is a book that's kind of now, like some of the subjects of your book. These are because it's dealing with history and it's dealing with people. And
the Holocaust.
Yeah, the Holocaust. But just anytime you're dealing with these types of historical pieces, whether, it's so important that we tell the stories, but at the same time, you're digging through some emotion, you're digging through some real personal, and so it makes you feel a kind of way when you're doing the reading, the research, the artwork for putting these types of things. So as good and as informative as your books are, I imagine these are a little tougher for you guys to put together just because of the subject matter which you're dealing with.
Well, I'm going to let Greg speak for himself because he obviously does an enormous amount of research on my books, on these historical fiction books. But this is the 6th of my historical fiction books relating directly to World War II and the Holocaust.
Right.
So as somebody who didn't, thank God, experience the Holocaust, I know many people who did and survived it, fortunately. So it's still close to my heart, and as I believe I've said in the past, if those of us in 2025 don't remember and commemorate the Holocaust in some way, then the next generation and the generation after that are not going to know about it, and that would make it possible for it to happen again.
Sure. Well, and that's, like you said, even with historical fiction work. If you don't get the history part right, then it makes the story suffer. So you have to do the research. You have to do the understanding. So even though the stories you write aren't necessarily real people per se,
the names,
what was done there, what was inspired by it, what was influenced by it, is very
all
real.
Fact.
It's very
it's
real.
All fact. And carefully researched, I should add.
Yeah. And so that's the rub here. It's so if you're looking to get, that's why I love, when I talk historical, when the Killer Angels, which turned out to be the Gettysburg, those movies, as a book, that does such a great job of evoking the personal and what is really, because some people, you start talking about battles and dates, and then the eyes get bleary and glassy-eyed, and it's like, whoa, boy.
Right.
But when you talk, the conversations, the things that, okay, we can't say it's historical fact because it's people and conversations, but based off what they did, what they done, they were probably talking something along these lines, and how it was that, we're trying to attach the emotion to some of the historical events that took place.
Yeah.
And so you can't say for a fact that that's historically accurate, but if they're human beings, they're probably reacting somewhere in this ballpark. You know what I mean? And so that's what I love about historical. It's okay. Technically, it's non-fiction or fiction because we can't say for sure this is what they're thinking, but odds are pretty good. This is kind of, if we didn't nail it exactly, I think we're in the ballpark. You know what I mean? So that's what I love.
The events that took place that I've documented in all 6 of these books are factual.
Yes.
The attack on the velodrome and the attack on Vichy and everything. This is a particularly, let's call it, unusual book from the other 5 historical fiction books.
Gotcha.
Because everybody, when you think of World War II, you automatically think about the Axis powers, Germany and Italy and so on. And then you think about the Allies, the U.S. and Russia, at that time the Soviet Union, and so on. But no, people rarely think about France. It's just not a major consideration with respect to World War II. And what's interesting to me about France and World War II was that very few people know that a large percentage of the French population sided with the Germans.
Well, that was German-occupied territory for a good hunk of the war, so they were they were kind of their protectors a little bit too, as much as their.
But what they done is the reason why they sided with them is that they thought that this was going to be easement on them and the people.
Sure.
And they got to understand
politically advantageous.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that signing of Versailles, that right there was the main thing that really pissed Hitler off and got him going.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they basically, the signing of that Versailles, that gave up everything of Germany before he came into power.
Gotcha.
And
so he inherited that.
Interesting. So that's why this, it's kind of neat to read some of this history and this is where, we talk about war, and like you said, Cindy, where, you think of the good guys and the bad guys, and it's very black and white. And and in reality, it's never that way. And it's so much gray and in between. And World War II was, and to be honest, you're surviving. You're trying to do it, you survive. So sometimes people say and hear and do whatever they got to do to survive at that particular moment. So now, I would imagine loyalties would flip and lie and change based on who's controlling the buttons at that particular moment too. There's some of that going.
Go ahead.
And the excellent example of that is the country of Poland. And it was in fact the invasion of Poland that began World War II, and the Polish people were very much the victims of Hitler and German invasion and the establishment of places like Sobibor and Treblinka and so on.
Those Warsaw ghettos that
Warsaw ghetto, to be sure. But what's not commonly known is that there were a whole bunch of German sympathizers in Poland, regardless of that.
Sure. And I'm going to also say they were sympathizers financially.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, they were profiteers off of, there was probably a lot of money in the turning in Jew business in that area and doing that kind of stuff.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
So there was people, and that's true in any war. I mean, you look at Civil War, you look at Revolutionary War, you look at every war, there's those people that profit from war. And their scruples aren't necessarily yours or mine.
or exist in the first place.
Or exist in the exactly.
Yeah.
And that Vichy, I believe that one there, that was that they had turned that into the Olympic Stadium at that point. And that was
Velodrome?
Velodrome.
Or Vichy?
Velodrome.
Oh, okay.
And that's where they had all that bicycling that was going around on the court, and that's where they housed all the people at.
Wow. Well, and then at the same time, they create the public image of this, the Olympics in Germany, and this. But what's really going, and that's what the Holocaust is. That's at the end of the day, that's the lesson we're still trying to teach people and show people. It's
and
like,
what I researched on that is that inside that place, they didn't even allow them to go to the bathroom.
Wow.
They gave them buckets inside of there. And there was only 3 buckets per 50 people.
Wow.
Right.
Kind of sounded like the Rome gladiator stuff almost. You know what I mean?
I can just imagine how crude it was.
Oh, it's just, but it's hard for people to wrap their head around that kind of thing. And it's like, yes, this is what people were dealing with, and to be honest, this is the good side of it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, they not letting you, but I mean, that's disgusting, but that's not even scratching the surface on the worst treatments and how they were doing all that. This was the lesser stuff that was going on.
And being packed into cattle cars.
Yeah,
in transit to Auschwitz.
Yeah.
And Treblinka and so on. Yeah. Packing 300 people into a cattle car with 1 bucket and no food and maybe a bucket of water.
Well,
so
it's
all of that.
It's one thing that always gets, and even to this day, that still, when you see the images of some of the especially when they first started going to some of these camps, and they're seeing some of the people in the camp still, and you're seeing the barely alive people.
That's That's past PTSD.
Yeah, but what always wraps my head around is like to see that person at that form, because knowing at some point in their life they look like you or I. They were healthy, happy, at some point they were, and to see them as skeletal people, and it's like, can you imagine the things that those people see from where you're going, like you and I, the way we look today, to look like something like that in a period of months.
Yeah.
In a period of months, they were doing this. Not even years in some cases. It was months.
And of course, the Holocaust deniers, the hoax types, want to look at those pictures and say they were photoshopped. They were manufactured. Nobody ever got that skinny, did they?
Exactly. So it's just, it's like you could think about what a person has to go through from what we look at as a healthy person to the people you're seeing in those pictures, and to be alive. That's the most extreme of things you can do to a human being, is what those people went through.
Well, and it just shows what that at some points, whenever you start researching some of this stuff and you really start digging into it, you see what man is capable of doing.
And I'm not trying to say this. I mean, this sounds, but to be honest, some of the lucky ones were the ones that died in the gas chambers in the shower. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it sounds bad.
Or killed themselves to avoid the gas chambers.
A fast death was mercy here in some of these cases. That's the sad part here is the ones we rescued. They were probably the roughest of the roughest. The ones that died, that was God's little blessing, weirdly enough. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean,
agree.
That's how bad it is.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to put it that morbidly, but that's what we're dealing with here is some of the ones that didn't, that were found, the skulls and bones and They're the lucky ones, some of them. I mean, as sad as that sounds, or as creepy as that sounds, that's what we're talking about here. You know,
it's the end to suffering, no matter how it arrives.
Yeah. And so this is why I think, you know, folks, grab the book, enjoy. If you're a history buff, you're going to love some of this stuff. But
I wish I would have had it, but we haven't got it yet.
We'll
but
get
anyway,
it's coming.
Whenever
Wednesday, I get my author copies, Greg, and yours are going to be out in the mail as soon as I get them.
Well, we'll definitely send us a photo. We'll share it, get it all out there and all that. But we'll be able to get it on Amazon. You could definitely pick it up. And I would just, to be honest, just type in when you're on Amazon, just type in Cindy Sloan Butts and check out all of her books. And to be honest, maybe you're not ready to start with this one. We'll pick some of the other ones, and then we'll get into the heavier subjects and some of the more poignant stuff we're talking.
Well,
about.
the cover art, her and her husband, they came down and they was grateful enough. They took me out to lunch, and I basically told her what an overview was of the cover that I was looking at doing, and. So I went down that rabbit hole, and I was like, what were the flags that were flown during that time? And I found this French flag that was flown during that time. That is the oldest French flag that they knew of that was flown in World War II.
Okay, interesting.
And it's actually got the French flag, but it's got the double cross in the center of it.
I love that. And that's, again, this is where your artwork, whether it's a painting or on a book cover here, you go and this is how Greg and I kind of met. Was it started where Greg, when he's not painting commissioned artwork for people and, you know, making, you know, paying the bills, so to speak, you know, your passion hobby is to go out and you can't restore buildings, you know, that necessarily, but buildings that were lost to history, you recreate them through your art. Yes. You'll take, you know, various buildings that were once staples or once main important things at some point in history in New Mexico or around anywhere, and giving us an image of what that building looked like the day that the people that did what they had to do walked the halls of that building, or walked the porch, or walked, you know, your Billy the Kids and all that. When you see some of these places that Billy the Kid visited, this is what it looked like. This is what it felt like. And that's what your passion is. And that's really, Cindy, you're kind of doing the same thing through your stories. And yes, these are works of fiction, but they're not. They're truths of human emotion and truths of human.
It's just names that change.
Yeah, it's just the names. Yeah, exactly. Are protecting the people that, you know, have lives and things like that may not want their whole story in front of you for them to dissect and look at. So,
and honoring those who were lost, and those who lost people.
Yeah,
because we still have a lot of survivors or children of survivors. I hear it all the time. I run into people. I ran into somebody recently in Old Town who said, "Yeah, my dad was a survivor of a survivor."
There's not many left, but there are a few.
I'm sorry?
I said there's not many left, but there are a few out there still. Yeah.
Well, right. We need to honor them.
And record their history. Like I think like a lot of things I've been hearing and seeing through and not necessarily just Holocaust stuff, but World War II stuff. I've heard a lot of, you know, because we're, you know, each year we're less and less World War II vets, and less, you know, there's going to be a time in the near future where we don't have any left. That's just they're all gone. That's what's going to happen. It's not a question of if, it's going to happen.
Well, and not only that, but they're not teaching the true history anymore.
Well, history gets warped at the leisure here, and that's why we need these accounts from people that saw it, that lived it, that experienced it, that in some cases to this day are still experiencing it in their heads and everything else. And so, you know, our Holocaust survivors. You know, we're seeing a lot, you know, now that these folks are in their very advanced ages, but there's still people chronologizing. They're still, you know, putting them in rooms while we can, and putting a camera in front of them and saying, "Tell me your story. Tell me what's going on." So if nothing else, we have it here for the next generation to hear your story.
Right.
So we can hopefully avoid when the next time someone tries this, and we can say, see the writings on the wall. This is what's going on. Listen to these people
Exactly.
and learn from these people so we don't experience what these people experience.
Exactly.
Correct.
And,
Correct.
And so that's why I love this. So please, and I'm going to throw this out there. If you're World War II vets, if there is a Holocaust survivor in my audience, I doubt it, but you never know. There might be one living here in New Mexico somewhere. You never know. Please.
Absolutely.
Share your story.
Yes.
Share your story. I know it's hard, and maybe you're not, but if you get a chance, that would be a great gift that you can leave for humanity so we
Exactly.
can ensure that nobody does anything like this as long as we're here. You know,
Exactly.
That's what this is about. So get the book, and like I said, this one's going to be, it's going to make you feel a kind of way. That's what this book's going to do. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows on this one, because it is but this is stuff we need to know. We need to understand, and we need to understand that if we don't chronicle these stories, if we don't share these stories, we will be victims and doomed to repeat it again. This is why history is so important, and tough. And studying people and everybody that says you don't know history or like history, you're full of crap. If you're living and breathing, you're part of history.
That's right.
Whether your history is you on your Facebook, or on your social media page, chronicling your own history, but you're all history, and it's all part of history. And history's not just dates and names and battles and who begat whom, where, and when on this thing. It's the study of us and every little bit. And if you don't understand it, then when you go into the next thing and the next problem, you're not equipped to take it on.
Well, and
What is it? What is the statement? Those of us who refuse to understand history are condemned to repeat it.
Absolutely correct. And
Exactly.
That statement is so true. And if you don't see reciprocals to the world we live in now, and World War II, and even stuff before that, then you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Because if you're seeing what's going on in our current world and some of the circles today, you don't think this is a reciprocal of World War II things and other things that are going on. It all begats, and guess what? That was begat from World War I, which begat from this. It is, and I hate to tell you this, as long as the Middle East is the Middle East, there's going to be problems in the Middle East, because it is the birth of religion and everything that comes with it, and two people disagreeing on a religion is going to, that whole land, as long as it exists, as long as there's humans, there's going to be dispute and conflict there. And if you don't understand that, then
you don't understand. Then you don't understand peaceful coexistence.
Yeah. It's just one of these things that it's going to be. We're dealing with this, and your kids are going to be dealing with it, and you got to understand it. And if you understand the history and understand, that's the only way you can hope to change it is to understand it. So.
And the bad thing too is that AI is starting to put their name into the game, and they're jacking up a bunch of stuff on history.
Sure.
You know?
Well, oh yeah. Well, and to be honest, it's going to happen. The only variable we can change is you, the consumer.
Exactly.
Understand it. Be smart. Be savvy to it. If it's, do your own research. If someone hands you a document saying this is fact, accept it, and then go look for two other things to dispute it. Because that's what you got to do. And if you can't, then you can trust it as fact.
There you are.
That's really the life we have to do. In the world of convenience, you sacrifice accuracy, and you sacrifice getting it right and getting it done correctly. That is, this is unfortunately the world of media.
If you choose.
Yeah.
If you choose that. But if you choose not to accept what you see as reality and truth, then that's your choice too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying is do your research, do your own, trust but verify. If you find things that you do trust but verify, if your mom tells you your sky is blue, okay, you probably can trust that source. But if CNN tells it to you, maybe go check somebody else. Is all I'm saying.
Or Fox, any one of them. Man, it's like
or Fox or whoever you want to. You tell them, you get a couple sources because we just don't live in that world anymore.
No.
I mean, when we were kids, you turn on the news, regardless of what it was, you kind of say, all right, that's the news, and we don't live in that world anymore. And unfortunately, people our age get duped easy because we do have a trust. And then young people, they don't bother to begin with because they don't watch the nightly news and all that stuff, but they do get on social media, and that's the world we live in now. And anybody and their uncle can get on social media and say the sky is blue, and 20 people argue with them.
Yeah.
And that's just the world we live
with
in.
my audience, I try to give them the utmost facts. And so if I find 5 sources, then I look for 5 more sources.
That's the key.
Because I don't want them to sit there and say, well, now I found this. Well, okay, where did you get that source then?
And then you also deal with, memories change over time. That's how we have our fish stories. And in your world, you do, and Cindy, you do with this too, is that, people misremember things.
Yep.
They swore that was blue, but it wasn't. But in their memories, that was blue. And it just wasn't blue. It was red. It was red. I mean, we got too much evidence to say it, but I know you, and they're not lying. That's how they interpreted it at that time, and that's.
And so the other part on this cover, like I told Cindy, I found the oldest German flag that was flown in World War II.
Okay.
That was there in France. And once you see the cover, I mean, it is, they've got it in a museum.
That's what started the rabbit hole I got on here was the flag thing, because that's what I love that you do that accuracy, because contrary to popular belief, if you're a fan of the Civil War or study of Civil War, the Stars and Bars was just one of those flags, and it was only for a small period of time. So depending on the years and things, they had different flags and different stuff, and you could paint your little paintings, and you put Stars and Bars all over it. I'm like, this was a little different. They were going with this flag at that time, and kind of so. But again, I love this is that historical accuracy thing we talk about, and getting those details right. And for people that experience or know, when you get those details wrong, it cheapens the experience. And I don't care what anybody says. When you're looking at a historical thing and you're like, yeah, good job on that one, that's the wrong flag. You know what I mean? That those are the things that do either separate or cement people into the story. Because if they know, it's like, man, they even got the flag right. They really know their business. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
Sure.
And so, yeah.
Sure.
Yep. So that's so important in getting the devil's in the details and that kind of. And it's no different on when you tell your story, right, Cindy? If you're telling a story and then the experience just doesn't make sense, and they're like, yeah, she did her research on that. She knew a lot about it. You know what I mean? Because,
exactly.
If you're talking about experience and someone that knows, like, there's no way they would experience that in that particular situation.
Well, my reputation as a writer, as an author, is at stake. If I tell you something happened when it didn't happen, what are you going to believe of me next time?
Exactly.
Exactamundo. You got a lot more to lose than to gain.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Correct.
So we're running short on time, so I definitely want to. But again, what's the name of this latest book here? I know we keep talking about Versailles, but let's kind of do the officials and give the name of the book and where they can find it.
Do you not have a picture of it?
Not
Mike?
handy. I do not. Not handy, no.
No,
Greg?
I don't have it on my phone. I didn't take that picture.
I can send it to you if you want.
Okay, and then we'll add it to the comments in the video side. Yeah, that'll be perfect.
Okay, I'll send it as soon as we're off the phone.
Perfect.
But go ahead and give the title.
The title is Versailles, Vichy, and Le Velodrome d'Hiver. Because the technical title of the velodrome, which was often shortened to Veldiv, is Velodrome d'Hiver.
Okay.
The velodrome of winter.
Okay. I'm awfully French, so.
Well, that's my preferred language. That's my preferred language.
I'm very, very, very poor at French. I can do some Spanish poorly, but that's about it. And that does help because it's Latin based. So there's occasion I'll the little Spanish does help with the French a little bit, and vice versa. So, but,
the good word.
Oh yeah,
that's right. Well, yeah, I did learn a lot of French in Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure when every time Napoleon got mad and he yelled a certain word that I can't say on the radio. But
oh my God,
it's funny because they subtitled it where Napoleon's he's yelling the word and then it's subtitled and I'm like, oh, it starts with an M. You can figure it out from there. So.
Yeah.
A French word?
A French word starts
I know
with
what
an
it
M.
is.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
I figured you would.
I know what it is.
I figured you would. And that's how
well,
I learned some French.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to fluent in French.
Awesome. So. Well, but again, you can find the book right now on Amazon. Actually, if you really type in Cindy Sloan Butts in the author search there, and you can see not only this book, but all of Cindy's
the
books.
other 10.
Yeah, the other 10 books.
10.
And not all of them are World War II. They do cover other topics and things. And
mystery.
Mystery. So if you love just a good murder mystery, you'll find a few of those on there too. So
I've even got one for you in Roswell.
Yeah, so you can get Little Roswell. So if you want a little local flavor, got it all there.
There you are.
So pick your first.
In Alamogordo.
Yeah. Yep. So and that's the other thing too. So if you're a New Mexican, you're gonna love because a lot of these landmarks. Again, you write like someone that from New Mexico can understand it and not call BS on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you are. There you are.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, Cindy, is there
I'll
any other?
I'll send you the picture.
Excellent. Very much. We do appreciate that here too. Greg, real quick before we go, is there any things that we wanted to get on you or just talking about this book cover? Of course, you can always commission Greg for work here as time permits. He will get to you. I always tell people, look for Greg on Facebook, Greg Birch, 2 G's, Greg, G-R-E-G-G Birch on Facebook, and shoot him a message, and he'll be happy to talk to you about whatever you need done on that.
Yeah, I just...
As long as my work has priority,
there you
that's
go.
great.
As long as Cindy's books are covered, then he'll have time.
That's right. That's right. I've already told her that deal. She comes first.
And I will tell you this, as I know we talk about historical and the different, but Greg paints everything. I've seen him paint cartoon characters. I've seen him paint sports logos. I've seen him paint historical paintings. So I don't think there's a subject he won't touch when it comes to painting or anything.
You name it, and I'll claim it.
There you
go.
go.
No, I finished up that one commission piece that was for the mounted patrol.
Mm-hmm.
Got that one to them. Got the pictures posted on Facebook on it. I got this Las Vegas painting coming up, but of course with everything else that's kind of going on in the life right now, I haven't had the
yeah, we've talked a
time
bit
to get
about
up
your
there.
kind of the nerve stuff and all that. So it's still fighting with doctors on that kind of stuff. So in between that is when he's getting his paintings in and getting all
trying
that
to,
stuff.
trying to not make Cindy pull her hair out, saying, "Hey, I need my stuff."
I know you've been dealing with a lot, but you do look good. I know you're probably feeling in pain, but you do look great. So
well, thank you. Thank you.
He's a lean,
This
mean
one
fight
is
machine.
This one's about a quarter done, Greg. My next book is about a quarter done, so just giving you a heads up.
All right.
All
so
right.
About
So I
time
got
to
more
bust the canvas
research.
out and get the books out and doing the dusting. So, well,
All right.
thank you very much, Cindy. As always, thank you very much, and we look
Thank
forward to
you.
the day when you're in Roswell and we get to pop in for a visit. So that'd be good.
Next time.
Next time. And Greg, as always,
I
appreciate
promise.
it. We will look forward to it, and stay warm up there today.
I shall.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
Cindy.
you so much.
All
Greg,
right.
take care of yourself.
I will.
All right.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And thank you, Greg, as always, too. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next time here.
Yes, sir.
All right, 9 o'clock, you listen to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico, News in Progress.
Bowlers are now averaging 151 or higher in tournament play. The Bulldog Bowlers are preparing to travel to Silva Lanes in Albuquerque for the state championship tournament this weekend. New Mexico lawmakers have convened their annual 60-day session, with crime and mental health bills being introduced very early. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham has already outlined a series of policy priorities in her State of the State speech recently. She has since held listening sessions in Carlsbad, Farmington, and Clovis, among other places. One bill would require a report from a psychiatric professional regarding a defendant's mental competency to stand trial also include an opinion as to whether the defendant qualifies for involuntary commitment to a psychiatric facility. And another bill would allow defendants to be charged with child abuse if they are believed responsible for exposing children to the powerful opiate fentanyl. State law already allows such a charge involving methamphetamine. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little fog possible early today. We have a low-pressure system moving north of us. Mix of sunshine and clouds for the afternoon, and we'll be in the mid to upper 50s on today's high. Overnight, partly cloudy and cool. We'll drop into the upper 20s, and then pretty windy on Thursday. Sunshine, and we're in the upper 50s, wind gusting to 40 miles an hour. We're in the mid-60s with sunshine on Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
U.S. stocks finished higher yesterday following Monday's big tech sell-off. Investors had pivoted away from AI darling NVIDIA, but NVIDIA saw its share price rise yesterday. The talking point, Chinese upstart DeepSeek, which has shared its AI model as of this week, and it impressed investors. Tech peers yesterday, Broadcom and Oracle, they posted gains after seeing share prices crater Monday. Economic data, the S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index hit its 18th consecutive all-time high in November. In January, consumer confidence declined. In December, new orders for manufactured durable goods decreased 2.2%, and that followed a 2% drop in November. Today, we'll find out what the Federal Reserve intends to do in terms of interest rates. And looking at company-specific news, investors closely watching for some corporate earnings due this week. Several Magnificent Seven companies reporting in the coming days. That includes Meta Platforms, Microsoft, Tesla, and Apple. Finally, employees at a Whole Foods and Amazon have made history as the first Amazon-owned grocery store to unionize. Whole Foods says it's disappointed by the recent election. With business, I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
President Trump's nominee for Health Secretary is on the Capitol Hill hot seat this hour.
Ours has always been a family that has been involved in public service, and I look forward to continuing that tradition.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. before the Senate Finance Committee being questioned on a range of issues, including allegations that he is anti-vaccine, something Kennedy insists he is not. His views on abortion have also drawn fire from some in pro-life circles. Today, the first of 2 days of hearings for Kennedy. Tomorrow, he goes before a different Senate panel. The Biden White House didn't really seem to know what was going on, but from the Trump White House, we're getting some answers about the swarm of drones spotted repeatedly late last year.
The drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons.
What kind of research? What other reasons? So we don't know, but quoting Trump Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, this was not the enemy. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been invited to the White House next week.
The visit comes as the United States is pressuring Israel and Hamas to continue a ceasefire that has paused the 15-month war in Gaza. The meeting would be a chance for Netanyahu to remind the world of long support he's received from Trump over the years. Netanyahu likely to encourage Trump not to hold up weapons deliveries the way the Biden administration did.
Correspondent John Scott. Israeli officials say 3 Israelis and 5 Thai nationals will be the next 8 hostages to be released by Hamas, and that release is expected tomorrow. The Israelis to be freed, 2 women and an 80-year-old man. On Wall Street this morning, stocks are mixed. The Dow trading 24 points higher, while the Nasdaq is down 123. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Japan is alarmed over an increase in the rate of childhood suicide.
National Police Agency statistics have shown that nearly 530 children died by suicide last year, with secondary school students accounting for most of the cases. The number tops the previous record high of 514 child suicides in 2022. Most cases were due to school-related issues, while more than 40 suicides were associated with trouble involving social media and online interactions. Meanwhile, government statistics show that the overall number of people taking their own lives in Japan fell to the second lowest figure since records began in 1978.
The BBC's Shaima Halil. Rwanda-backed rebels have captured large parts of eastern Congo's largest city, including its airport, as Rwanda's president joins calls for a ceasefire. Much of the beleaguered city of Goma was calm early today, after a day after which thousands of fleeing people hunkered down on roadsides as missiles flew overhead. Townhall.com. Speaker Mike Johnson signaled that Congress will impose conditions on aid to California after recent fires destroyed thousands of structures in Los Angeles.
In an interview, Speaker Johnson accused Democrats in the state from making, quote, decisions that made the disaster exponentially worse, and said Congress had a responsibility to ensure, quote, they follow common sense in California when aid is provided. Some Republican lawmakers have suggested refusing aid unless Democrats in the House agree to hike the debt limit. President Donald Trump, in a visit to California, said he wanted to require the state to impose a voter ID law before he signed a bill providing aid. Congressional appropriations often contain clauses that might withhold some funding unless certain parameters are met. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Federal Reserve policymakers expected to hold the line on interest rates following their latest meeting. That two-day session wraps up today. Inflation is still running above the Fed's 2% target. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos
of Mornings with Mike Winters. Con Mike Winters. Right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Con.
Con Hugo.
Thank God for chili con queso. That's how I learned that one. What? It's chili with cheese? What's the con? With? Yeah, all right.
I'm actually...
Actually, you learned it in your maybe 1 or 2 of Spanish in high school.
I'm excited. I'm going to break out my crock pots for the first time.
Oh, you're crock potting, huh?
Yeah.
What you going to be crock potting?
So I got these... it's not like a full crock pot. They're these 2 mini crock pots.
Okay.
I'm like, they're perfect for sides for a party.
Okay.
So I'm going to do the traditional. I'm going to go queso in one. It's like sausage queso, and then little... and I love... can't think of the name of the actor from the movie Rat Race. He has little cocktail sausages on toothpicks, and he calls them little cock doggies. It's
not Rowan Atkinson.
Mr. Bean, yeah, Rowan Atkinson.
Rowan Atkinson, yeah.
Little cock doggies. So yeah, I'm gonna make little cock doggies and queso.
Is this for an event?
Yeah. The Royal Rumble is this weekend.
Oh, for wrestling tonight.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I decided I'm not gonna host this year. I don't really feel like doing the hosting thing, but. I got a friend, some friends we're going to get together, and I said, I'll break up my crock pot.
So is that this weekend?
It is Saturday.
Saturday, okay. This is garden variety wrestling tonight.
Yeah. It's
regular wrestling.
See, this is where I get real nerdy. It's a different company.
Oh, this is
AEW. Yeah.
AEW as opposed to WCW?
WWE.
WWE, sorry.
Keep up with my crap.
I'm still back on WWF, man.
Yeah, no, I get you. I understand. It's a lot of good nostalgia to get stuck on.
I know. I'm in that.
The best way I heard it explained, though, was if you go back to like classic era, like the stuff that aired in the 80s, and you watch it now because of like the differences in like digital versus analog and all that, they said it's like watching it through a series of ghosts. That's what it's like watching WWE in the 80s now. It's like watching it through a series of ghosts. There's like something else going on the screen, and it's real hard to like focus in.
Not a problem at the time.
Not a lot of crisp lines. I know. And you know what's funny is it looks horrible on today's sets.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it didn't look bad.
Right.
It never looked bad to us on our regular sets.
But like if you looked at like stuff from your parents' generation, that you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Like I'm not going to lie. I remember as a kid like watching something like that. And it was like maybe it's like Kennedy. I don't know, it was something. I was like, I wonder, like in 30 years from now or 50 years from now, when they look at footage from the 80s, what's it going to look like? And now I have that answer.
It's not even 1,000
and it's not
years.
what I thought.
It's not even 1,000 years. You can be like, I wonder what people 30 years from now are going to look at our technology and go,
well, and in my kid brain, I remember thinking, and I don't think I put a number, when I was like, when I'm in like 70s or when I'm old, what's that going to be like? And I don't know, I'm kind of like, I'm seeing it. It's different.
I'm excited for things that are on the horizon, but at the same time, I'm kind of mad we didn't get the future home that was like shown in the House of the Future, like the Disney version, where like at least there's still buttons to push.
Yeah.
Like they got a lot of it right.
Like,
but
now it's been a minute since I've been to Disney World. But there was this ride in Tomorrowland, and it was that, like you're talking about, like it's this big, like the what was it called, like the Cyclorama of Progress or something, and you basically, and Disney did it up where you sat this one thing and then it kind of spun you around. Now the last time I did Disney World, which was I don't know, 8 years ago.
Yeah, it was about that.
It was still there, and we did it. But I can't imagine, because it's almost now a nostalgic thing. It's not.
I actually think they have a Guardians of the Galaxy thing there now.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like,
because I know what you're talking about. It's like
but it's
House
literally
of
like the housewife, and you'll have a microwave that
ice boxes. Don't worry about going and getting your own ice from the river.
Right.
You'll be able to get it right here.
And so at first it was a history lesson, but it was, I don't know. It was just. So, but I always loved that thing, regardless of the cheesiness or whatever. I just still love warm fuzzy.
I've talked about it before on here, but there was an ad campaign. AT&T ran an ad campaign back in 1992, and it was called "You Will."
Okay.
So the whole ad campaign was, have you ever made a phone call from the beach? Or no,
I remember
had a video conference.
Was Tom Selleck in that commercial?
He might have been like the narrator.
Because I feel like I think I've seen that, and Tom Selleck was somehow involved in it.
He might have been the narrator of the commercial. But the whole point was, it's like all this technology that in 1992 seemed completely insane. And the commercial goes, "You will." And
I think it was AT&T.
It was, and the company that will bring it to you is AT&T.
Yeah, I remember. I feel like Tom Selleck was the narrator, but because I remember, there was a flip phone on the beach and all.
Yeah,
yeah, I remember.
Here's an example of one right here.
Have you ever learned American history? From George Washington. And it was victory at Saratoga that turned the war to our favor.
Yeah, it's not this one.
No, this is one from 2020. I guess they redid it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to find the original.
Yeah, I feel like Tom Selleck.
1993. And it's a kid in the library.
Thousands of miles away.
Yeah,
on a microfiche.
That's Selleck.
Across the country. Just your head.
GPS.
Without stopping for directions. 101. Or send someone a fax. From the beach.
Send someone a fax. But they were close.
And the company that'll bring it to you is AT&T.
Yeah, and all these, you go back, and there's like a series of those.
Yeah,
and
that is Tom Selleck,
it's
by the way.
funny, though, that they were so close. Like, there's one where there's a woman, she's in an airport, and she walks up to this bank of payphones. She puts her money in, and she dials the number, and above it is a screen where she's talking, and it's a video phone, essentially, that she's talking to her baby. But it's on a payphone in a bank of payphones. Right. It's like, oh, y'all were real close.
Sure.
It's hard to picture that we would have
the
one of these in
concept
our
was
pockets.
there, but how it evolved wasn't quite there. And so
we know the direction that we're going. Now it's how do we get there?
And I remember maybe a couple years before that.
Okay.
When they were talking about all your house phones are going to be computer screen things and all that. And I remember everyone talking like, and this was still, the cell phone wasn't really a concept yet. So everyone still had the house phones. But I remember, and I feel like
PDAs were big.
There were some products out there for the uber rich that you could have the video phone, and it was literally a computer screen that but you only could communicate with other people with the same phone. And so it was very niche technology, but it was there.
Yeah, the Palm Pilot was still a thing in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, I don't remember what movie it was, but there was a joke where it was like this poor dude, and he's like, let me check my Palm Pilot. But, so I know that was like a thing in the early 90s. It was the personal digital
what
assistant.
I'm talking about, maybe about 5-10 years before that.
Even at that age, we were like, we're going to be sending faxes.
Right.
Like, when's the last time you sent a fax? It's
just yesterday.
I know it still happens in this region sometimes.
I believe our guests are downstairs, Roy. One's at the door, one's on the way there. I don't know if you're getting a call, but or if he's even listening right now.
I don't think he watches us. Roy? Oh, Roy.
But I think we'll see. I just got a text saying one's at the door, one's in sight. So you might want to.
I'll let him.
He's watching a wrestling video or Sonic the Hedgehog or something. But yeah, it's kind of funny to see that as you get older, to see how things kind of.
Oh, I can't. I'm excited to see, like, in 20. Well, outside of the apocalypse that we're about to go. Outside of that, in 20 years, where's technology going to be? Or does it all reset?
Yeah.
I mean, do we go back to like square one where it's like people are using?
What do we got, like a zombie apocalypse, and we go back to?
No, I just imagine like people are using like digital abacus.
Or that NBC show we liked it for one season and sucked the next one.
Yeah.
What was it called?
Evolution or Revolution?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great for one season. And then you're like, nah.
And then what happened? I was all in for the second season. I was like, I'm excited. And then I was like,
yeah.
That was one of them. Like of things I got into and things I got let down. That was one of the bigger ones in life as far as TV.
I will say. The one, the show that sticks out in my head about it's that to me the most is the show Under the Dome.
Yeah, so I never got into that.
Oh,
one.
I got so.
I wanted to, but I think I got warned or something. Something happened.
Well, season 1. If you go back, season 1 is fantastic.
I think you can watch it on Prime.
I think it's on some. Yeah, season 1 is fantastic. Season 2, it goes off the flippin' rails.
And is that the one that had
Dwight Yoakam?
No, but wasn't like Chickless or something like that? Not Chickless, or the guy from Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Chickless Light.
Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad is the main bad guy.
I think he's like the
main foil.
Like he's next generation Chickless in my head. I don't know why. It just is.
Next generation.
It is 9:16. We got the folks from American Legion Post 61 going to join us. They're in the building, so let's do this. Let's pause for weather and a quick commercial break, and then on the other side, here in about 4 minutes, we'll talk with American Legion Post 61. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little fog possible early today. We have a low-pressure system moving north of us. Mix of sunshine and clouds for the afternoon, and we'll be in the mid to upper 50s on today's high. Overnight, partly cloudy and cool. We'll drop into the upper 20s, and then pretty windy on Thursday. Sunshine, and we're in the upper 50s, wind gusting to 40 miles an hour. We're in the mid-60s with sunshine on Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Time to trade in and trade up in 2025 with Roswell Honda. With a fresh new lineup of vehicles and great rates that mean you can trade up and save. Like a new 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid, just 4.9% for 48 months, 2.9% for 36 months on new Pilot and Ridgeline, and 2.9% for up to 60 months on new 2025 Honda Accord. So hurry in before the savings pass you by. Trade in, trade up, and save at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
When you stick with Block, everyone's a winner. Weekly prizes and giveaways like a Samsung 65-inch 4K Smart TV to be giving away on February 21st. Your Roswell, New Mexico H&R Block wants to help those affected by the recent flooding that affected our beautiful city. We are offering a discount to any tax filers claiming a casualty loss deduction this season. Please give us a call at 575-622-5455 or stop by our new location at 701 South Main. H&R Block has got you covered.
Are you ready to succeed? At ENMU Roswell, they cater to your educational needs. Their dedicated facilities and faculties provide you with an exceptional learning experience. From academic programs to behavioral sciences, business, health education, or technical education, ENMU Roswell offers a wide variety of certifications and degree programs designed to take your education and experience to the next level. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University Roswell. Success starts here.
Altrusa is excited to announce, along with partners Dion's Pizza and Hobby Lobby, a book blitz. The book blitz will be Saturday, February 8th from 10 to noon at Dion's Pizza and Hobby Lobby Roswell locations. They'll be collecting new and gently used children's books to be placed in the Altrusa-sponsored Little Free Libraries. Altrusa distributes books for local projects and organizations throughout the year. Your help in stocking up our children's books would be greatly appreciated. Please join the Altrusa Club Saturday, February 8th at Dion's Pizza and Hobby Lobby in Roswell to help support the book blitz.
Space, the final frontier.
Hi, Captain. You can choose your space at Main Trailer Sales.
Fascinating. Don't cling on to that old camper. The logical choice. New Durangos, Montanas, Cougars, and Passports from Main Trailer Sales. They allow space and comfort. Boldly explore like never before.
Beam on board to that perfect camper.
Don't go camping without us. Live long and explore.
Main Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without us.
At New Mexico Gas Company, we believe there's money hiding in your home. It's true. It's hiding in your insulation, in your water heater, and in your furnace. And New Mexico Gas Company can help you tap into that money with rebates up to $800 for high-efficiency natural gas improvements. Your energy costs will go down, and your wallet will thank you. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and we provide energy efficiency solutions to save you money. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgcgetrebates.com.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. Peter Pan tried it with his buddy Skippy, but they couldn't do it in a jiff. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in the studio this morning from our American Legion Post 61 family, of course, Commander Lee's back with us, and Auxiliary President Jen back with us as well. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
¿Cómo estamos, jefe?
I think this is officially first time in 2025 I've talked to you on the radio. So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I think it is.
I
think so.
It would indeed be.
It was hard to tell. I talk to you guys all the time. So I was like, I think we haven't been on the radios in the new year yet together.
No, this is it. First time.
But we're kind of hitting the ground running in so many. I mean, obviously in the big scope, we're pushing forward with our new facility, and hopefully, cross fingers, knock wood, rain dance, whatever you got to do. By the end of this year, we're in our new facility.
That's what we're
hopefully
hoping.
that's the goal here.
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
But there have been a few roadblocks.
Well, life hands you lemons, and we got quite a few over the last.
We're squeezing them hard.
yeah.
Is what we're doing. So.
But we really do here. February's right around the corner. We're going to be involved with our 4 chaplains, and so we're kind of getting busy here in 2025.
New location. It's looking like 3 p.m. February 7th. I believe that's a Friday.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's going to be at Roswell.
That'll be
High
next
School.
week.
Roswell High School in the little theater. So
Very good.
yeah, mark your calendar.
And we would love the public to come and be a part of it. We'll
Yeah.
promote it more here between now and the
there should be
7th.
an ad in the paper, but
Good.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, we want to definitely get people out, and I'll pitch it heavy here between now and the 7th. That's
If you
for
could
sure.
put it on your community calendar.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
we get.
Anyway,
maybe
for
it might
those
already
of
be
you-
there. I don't know, but we'll double
For those
check.
of you who don't know, it's the story of the Dorchester, the 4 chaplains that sacrificed their lives to save others. It became a big deal. They tried to give them the Congressional Medal of Honor, but they couldn't do it because it wasn't officially in combat. So
It
Congress
was a technicality, basically.
a special one-time medal that has the same weight as the CMH, and gave it to them posthumously.
Put it this way: it's one of those things that it's an amazing story when you hear it. You go through the whole emotions of proud, happy, sad, the whole thing.
It'd make a great movie.
But when
They
you
made a movie out of it, apparently. I just
did they really?
I've
did
never
they?
seen it.
Nice.
you got to get Matthew McConaughey in it or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Some big name. Not have a bunch of no names.
But
I get Colin Firth or something.
Yeah, but when you think about it, it's these 4 men were chaplains.
Yeah.
They are in war, the non-combatants, the people that inspire.
The unarmed guy that run in the bullets.
They're right there with the medics. The medics are patching wounds. The chaplains are patching souls. Yeah, it really and. For them to make the ultimate sacrifice, and that's exactly what they did. I mean,
And it was a choice on their part.
At the beginning of the story, they thought maybe they're going to get off with the boat, but by the end of it, it was very, very clear. And towards the middle, it was looking very, very clear, and that didn't stop any of them.
Right.
And that's that's why we celebrate these 4 men, and that's why we share this story for these 4 men, because at the end of the day, it is the ultimate celebration of the human spirit.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's
even
what it's
in the
about.
story, there's a portion in which the one chaplain, his father tells him, "What are you, nuts? You're
Mhm.
going to go into war, but
Right.
you're going to go without the weapon." And another portion of it, where they talk about, well, the rabbi didn't call out for a Jew, and the Catholic didn't call out for a Catholic. They just
Or a
handed
Democrat or Republican, for that matter, in our today's world.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they just handed it to the next person in line,
Yeah.
and they knew they weren't going to make it out.
Yeah.
And they just kept going.
They gave up their spots in the lifeboats so others could have it.
And they kept everybody's spirits going and all that right up to the very end.
And I really hope that as people hear the story for the first time, especially, I mean, come and hear it again, please. But for the first time, I mean, because I really want, I hope people reflect and think about, like, if I was that person, how would I react? How would I, and look at it? Like,
I've thought about
if
that,
I
and
was
I
one
have
of those
no idea.
if I was one of those 4 men on that boat, would I be able to do what they do? And on the surface, I'd like to say I would.
Yeah.
But would I? And that's...
It's hard to say unless you're in it.
I don't think you ever know until you're in a situation like that how you're going to react.
And these guys basically paid the ultimate price and passed the test. That's what they did. Really
I'm kind of lucky. I was on a combat crew in the Air Force, but I never saw combat. So, I mean, I don't claim to be a combat veteran because I never
I'm
was
kind of
in
the same
combat.
thing. I'm combat adjacent.
I do know that when after my term in service, I did get shot out a couple of times, and I reacted differently, but not with cowardice, but I mean, one time I laughed.
Right.
You know, and it was just so ridiculous. I was being shot at for this stupid reason.
Right. And all my experiences were not direct, not the gun to the face type moment or any of those. It was always the stuff like, like in Italy, for instance, some lunatic tried to bomb Tent City.
Yeah.
I was in Tent City, but it was all discovered before anything bad happened. You know, mine was that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
It wasn't like the guy waving the gun at your face. It was that kind of, you know, you're just in the
that
in a
didn't
bad
happen
place
to me until after service.
Yeah, and so and most of the time I didn't even learn I was in danger till all it was over with. So you know what I mean.
It's a good way to learn about
so
it.
it's kind of I can't relate in some of that kind of stuff. I mean, it's adjacent. Again, it's like I was there, and at the end of the day, I did things that ultimately people lost their lives over. I know. I loaded bombs that didn't come home, and those killed people. I'm aware of that.
Into that at all,
but you know, but that's the job, and that's what I do, and that's I have no qualms over that.
There were decisions made.
Right. I don't think a
people
certain kind of way.
died,
I don't think I can't do that. If
In
I did, I'd
fact,
go crazy.
At the time that you make the decisions, you can't think about that because then you're not doing your job.
Exactly. You know. And I would even want to offer this a little bit. And this is why veterans are the way veterans are. You do things like we're just talking about here. How do you process that? How do you cope with that in your own brain? Some humans handle it a bit better.
You have to process it later.
Sure. And that's
you
why
can't do it at the time because more people will die if you don't make a decision.
Sure.
Even if people will die.
But even... And this is a lower level, but to get the brain to do the thing that you got to do, even though it goes against maybe what human nature tells you to do, you got to put your brain in a certain place or do things that may seem off kilter to the outside.
I have a veteran friend of mine who saw several tours in Afghanistan, and he crashed mentally. He's still having trouble to this very day.
Sure.
And I talked to him, and I told him, you don't have to tell me what you did because I know what you did.
Right.
And it takes a lot of pressure off, and the fact that I may not have done what he did, but I didn't have to.
Sure.
Because I did it from 30,000 feet. I didn't do it from 3 feet away.
It's a different animal. You're absolutely right. Yeah, but at the same time, and when you put your head down on the pillow at night, you think about these kind of things. But this is why we talk about, and when we deal with veterans and PTSD, and say keep an eye on them, but doing it, but and this is why when we talk about veterans, because at the end of the day, sometimes the things that's toiling through there, you want to try to fathom it, you want to try to relate, but unless you've stepped in that pile yourself, you can't.
And the problem is it took me several years even to start processing that because I just put it all behind me and I thought, it's stupid and, what are you thinking and what are you doing and all that stuff. But several years later, you see news reports, you see after action reports of like what your unit did or something like that, and you're back there. You're thinking about what you were doing, what you were going through, the machinations, and but we have the luxury on this side of the page to see what the aftermath was.
Sure.
At the moment when we were going through these exercises, you don't know what the after action is immediately. If at all, you don't really get the follow-up to know what was the result, because we weren't really there, we weren't really doing anything there, right?
Right.
Because we weren't actually there, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And, but when you read it in the newspaper, you get both sides. You get this is what this unit did or whatever, but this is the result.
Mm-hmm.
And you start thinking about that, and you say, well, when I was in the service, this is the decisions that we made, but I didn't know what the aftermath was,
Sure.
what the fallout was. So
And
a lot of times my brain will skip over those stories.
Well, and I'm not going to philosophize about military ideology and all that, but in the big scope of things, that's by design. That's, when it comes to OPSECs and all these other things,
they have to train you to detach.
And sometimes the way they build you to know what you know, and that's what you know. You don't need to know about the other thing until you get to another place, and then we'll get you there. But you know what I mean? It's that kind of, what the left hand's doing and the right hand doing, they may not know it yet, but they all got, and the military, they do that by design. If you don't need to know, then there's less risk of it leaking out there.
It's called compartmentalization.
Yeah, and so a lot of that is what's going on there too. And then as a piece in the cog, you don't see the big picture till afterwards when you read the newspaper.
And I think that also it's for security purposes, but I'm sure it's also for just the well-being and the ability of those doing it to be able to do it.
And I don't care what you did in the military, what branch of the military you served in, you can relate to this, because every is the OPSEC thing. Like when you get sent somewhere, and I don't care what the technology is. Back in our day, we had to go through these crazy phone daisy chain thing to get to somebody, and all this. Now it's a little different because everyone's got cell phones. But either way, they preach the same thing. Don't say this, don't say that. And it doesn't matter if you're a Coast Guardman, hear that, a chef in the in the chow hall, or if you're a guy in a trench somewhere.
There was a movie in the 80s. I'd say the name of it, but it doesn't really make any difference. But there was a line in the movie that at the time I just glossed over. It didn't make any sense to me really. But the guy tells him what the result of his mission was. And his response was, "You think I want to know that?"
Yeah.
And, to me at the time I glossed over that. But after being in the service, I totally relate. Because in the Air Force, for instance, this was a movie about the Navy, but in the Air Force, I don't want to know that I pushed the button and I killed 30,000 people. I don't need to know that.
Sure.
Because if I did know that, the next time I got to push the button, I may not push the button.
It's the same theory or concept in a firing squad. Whereas only one guy has the bullet, the rest have blank. So in theory, you can rationalize that you didn't kill anybody.
Right.
Because no one knows who had the bullet. So same logic.
Yep.
It's by design. Yeah.
And that's one of the what we're talking about is one of the main reasons the American Legion was formed, because only veterans really seem to understand other veterans.
Right.
So if you are struggling, if you are looking for some camaraderie, that's what the American Legion is for.
That absolutely. Yeah, we got way down a rabbit hole here.
Yes, but that's okay.
That's kind of. But yeah, that's why the American Legion's here, and your other veteran organizations as well too. This is, and so if you are veterans out there, we'd love to have you, or veteran families, we would love to have you come join and join officially. But I would even offer this out. Even if maybe you don't have a Legionnaire or that lineage, but you still want to get involved. There's many ways to join, to come and be a part. We are a service organization, and we serve the community.
Right, and you don't have to be a member to help us.
Absolutely. Yes, a large portion of our service does gear towards veterans, because that is our mission statement is part of that. But equally in our service is just the community. We help
the kids and the community at large.
Scouting, through donations and whatever it is, to various other charities. The holidays and things. We're always trying to get food or needs to the refuges and the various other great charities in town too. So that's really what our Legion post is about. That's what we do. We said 100 times, we're in the middle of building a new facility. We're not going to have a bar in it. It's going to be a social place, but not a drinking place per se. It is, and to be honest, we're trying to look to the future of Legion.
If I know, depending on your age, you have a certain image of a Legion or VFW or any of these. It's the bar, a bunch of old crotchety dudes sitting on bar stools, drinking beer and curmudgeonly talking about life.
Yeah, that's the past.
That's the old. That's the old. That's American Legions. Let's just face it. Today's veterans aren't all in their 60s and 70s and gray haired, and we have kids that are in their late 20s and 30s that are now your grizzled veterans.
Right.
And that's not their thing, man.
Yeah. They'd rather hop on the Xbox and play with somebody over and
they want to they're a different generation. They're into different things. And so you're going to see Legion nationally, already has, but you're going to see in especially smaller places where, time change happens slowly.
Yeah, it's an interesting phenomenon that's been happening in the American Legion over the last few years. Previously, the bar was the big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was one of the goals because it's a great fundraiser. It's true, but it also has its own problems. So a lot of posts across the country have decided, even if they had a bar previously, they're getting rid of them.
Sure.
They're going
or making a much smaller portion of their image. So
exactly.
To speak. Yeah.
They're changing their image and they're refocusing on things that are American Legion as opposed to the bar.
Absolutely. So please, if this sounds more like you're thinking, or we would love to have you come.
And we're
be a part
working
of
on
it.
getting our scouts back going.
Yeah, the lack of facility makes that very difficult to kind of reestablish our troops. We still sponsor, but as far as our hub pack and things like that, we can't provide a meeting space at the moment. We're working on this stuff, but
no, we're going to be meeting at the Chamber of Commerce, but we just renewed Pack 61 and Troop 2.
So we're getting them.
Troop 2 is changing a bit. They have a new scoutmaster.
Good.
I talked to Dave Hine yesterday. He's having complications.
How's he doing? He's had some medical stuff.
He's having complications after his heart attack.
That's unfortunate.
I think he said something about rhabdo or something like that. But the point being, it's going to be a while before he gets back on his feet. He's currently in Texas visiting his grandchildren and stuff, and so he's reconnecting with family. But
let's get him healthy and back on his feet. That's important.
And
that's his
from
goal.
what Conquistador told me, that building that got destroyed in the flood, the city actually did have insurance on that building.
Nice.
But how much they won't disclose.
Well, there was a whole dispute on who even owned the building.
That's true.
They're now talking that scout hut's going to cost between $80,000 and $100,000 to rebuild, and that's just a little teeny tiny building.
But it is used. It's a utilized facility.
It is.
Yeah.
So
it's been broken into several times.
The need is there, whether it's that thing or something else.
We needed to replace the roof because it was leaking, and they could only operate the heater with the doors open on both sides because they didn't want to asphyxiate the kids.
It was one of those buildings that borderlines on historical but leans towards ghetto. If that
Yes, I see your point.
The point being, we're actively involved in trying to replace that facility.
Right.
But PAC 61 will be meeting at
the Roswell Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. We're not sure what night it's going to be. It's either going to be Wednesdays evenings, or it may possibly be Saturday mornings. It's going to kind of depend on a lot of factors.
But we got a few other pieces to put in place before we're ready to
have a
lock that stuff
co-master,
down.
and she's going through the training process right now.
And she's very excited. She was a teacher for a little while. So
she's going to be down.
She's already got ideas.
March 1st and March 2nd, they have a training down in Carlsbad, and she's already agreed to attend that. So, but she wants to do camping, and that seems to be her primary focus. And I know that I talked to Joy the other night, and she said that her kids would come back because all they want to do is go camping, and
that's what scouting's about.
Can't blame them. I want to go camping too.
On the agenda,
that's what scouting's about.
They're back, and then the other kids, a lot of them dispersed to other units because the Cub Master that we had, he worked full time and he wasn't able to do much.
Commit. Yeah, I get you.
And he was hired as a temporary fill-in anyway.
Sure.
But
he did what he could with the time he had.
Exactly.
And he moved on. in the middle of the night, and
sure.
Next thing I knew, we didn't have any scouts anymore. But
and that's not an uncommon story in scouting. That's usually one thing happens and it kind of knocks down
It's a volunteer-run organization. So.
Knocks over the dominoes.
But
for the rest
we're going to
of it,
build it back, and we're going to do it better than ever, because now that we've got someone that is interested in the fun activities, I think that will organically grow our scouts.
All I know is you start with camping. That's a pretty good way to start it out. If you do that, that'll dangle a good carrot. So,
so my understanding is they're going to meet with the principal of Military Heights first week of March to determine when
February,
we can start. February. You're right.
Yeah.
1st of February, they're going to meet with the Military Heights principal to target those kids, and then we will meet with Military Heights in their classrooms some morning, probably next month. And we will start meeting probably by the end of February is what I'm thinking.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Good stuff here. But in the meantime, mark February 7th on your calendars.
Chaplains.
Fort Chaplain ceremony at the Roswell High School there in the little gym, I think is what they call it, right? Or what do they call
Little
it?
Theater.
Little Theater, that's
Yeah.
it. I'm sorry.
The Roswell, the high school, not the
Roswell.
other.
Yeah,
one.
not the Orthweedle
Roswell
Theater.
High School.
Yeah, the Little Theater at Roswell High.
Right. Yeah, not the one next to the movie
Got to
theater.
be clear in this.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And that'll be what time is it again? I forgot.
3 o'clock.
3
I think,
p.m.
is what we're planning.
At Roswell will be, I guess, right after school there. It
Yeah.
seems like, because I think the school lets out right around that time. doesn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah. So come here, and I'll tell you more about it as we get close to the event. But kind of put the bee in the bonnet, put that on your. And I would love to see people. You know, I'm so thankful to people that do come, but you know, we did it at First United for many years, and that's a beautiful place to do it.
It
but
is.
we kind of were like kind of swallowed up in that facility there.
It was, yeah.
And so I would love to see a building full of people seeing this.
It would
Whether
be
it's,
really nice.
You know, a smaller building, but I just want to see it full of people. Please come and see it. So. Anything else we need to cover? I know there are a couple.
Well, I know that we're having our membership meeting on February 6th. So if
Very
you're
good.
interested in anything Legion, Scouting, Memory Lawn, any of that, come say hey.
Yes,
and
that'll be
let us know.
next Thursday, actually, a week from tomorrow.
Yep.
At
we'll be in
6 p.m.
Albuquerque this weekend. We're having midwinter conference, so that's the whole state meets and
Good deal.
compares notes starting Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Any go-tos for when you're in Albuquerque, like food-wise or anything? Just curious. Like you have a staple like, hey, we're in Albuquerque, we're going to hit.
Hooters. They have great chicken.
Is it Hooters for you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Not the answer I was expecting. All right. I thought maybe Lee might throw out a Hooters, but not Jen.
Well, we don't go for the service. We go for the food.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like their chicken salad. It's huge and very nice.
Good. Okay.
It's yummy.
It's been so long since I've been to Hooters, but I always learned just get the wings at Hooters. Like everything, my thing was like everything else is, their wings were.
Their wings are really good.
Yeah.
To be
No doubt.
honest, the rest of it's overpriced garbage. But, the wings are good as long as you get a decent sauce. I mean, if you get mild or naked wings, it's not worth it. But if you get something spicy, it's good.
My wife and I's go-to for Albuquerque is Wex.
Oh, what's
we
that
always
one?
hit a Wex. They're a breakfast lunch place.
Okay.
It's a chain. There's like 6 of them in Albuquerque.
Uh-huh.
WECKS. They're usually pretty busy.
Is it like American food? Or?
Oh yeah, it's they do
We ate
breakfast
there.
burritos, and
we ate there once.
they have big portions.
Okay.
Long time ago.
To be honest, I always gotten their breakfast. I don't think I've ever gotten a lunch fare. It looks good and all this, but I either get their burritos or I'll get one of their.
I know we went there once on your recommendation.
Eggs Benedict. It's kind of one of my.
Well, I don't
go-tos.
remember it, so I guess we'll have to go again.
And everything's big. Like if you can't finish their food, it's just usually too much.
Yeah, I
food.
remember the building too. It was pretty wide and laid out.
Yeah, well, there's chain. There's like 6 or 7 of them in the Albuquerque area,
okay.
and they're all. It's a diner style.
It is.
Yeah. Last time we were there, I actually went to Chili's. I think it was
Okay.
Chipotle.
Okay.
Yeah, I love their burritos.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'll hit. I always like to go to places that we don't have in Roswell.
Yeah.
Or
I don't think we have
get.
a Chipotle here.
We do not.
Yeah.
Do not have Chipotle here. So, but now I can cross like Jersey Mike's off the list. We got that now. You know.
Oh
what
yeah.
I mean?
Yep.
And so,
now, if we could just get an In-N-Out burger, we'd be in good shape.
In-N-Out burger. Yeah.
Well,
being from California, I'm not sure what the whole hoopla is about In-N-Out burger, but pretty much everybody I talk to outside of California thinks it's the greatest.
I've had one.
Yeah.
The Albuquerque's getting one here in a year.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they announced it It's gonna be like another year, but
okay.
But they announced, I want to say 6 months ago.
Okay. Well, when it arrives, give it 6 months
in New Mexico, and I think it's Albuquerque they're getting one.
Well, that would make sense.
Well, here's the deal on that. Is that's almost like an East Coast West Coast thing.
Yeah.
The
I can see
burger
that.
thing, because traditionally, Californians, West Coast, they're all In-N-Out people.
Yep.
I'm from D.C. I'm from Maryland. I grew up there.
Our condolences.
I'm a Five Guys guy. We're the Five Guys.
Condolences.
Yeah, we're the Five Guys people.
Yeah.
I prefer Five Guys to In-N-Out. In-N-Out is fine. In-N-Out, to me, is more fast foody.
Mm-hmm.
Like the burgers are thinner, the fries are thinner.
Yeah.
Where Five Guys is more
diner.
Homemade.
Yeah.
More like, now they're equally good in their ingredients and everything. They're both like, no freezers, very fresh, this and that, home handmade potatoes. So all that's legit on that side. But to me, I'm just Team Five Guys. It's kind of like Coke or Pepsi. You got
See,
your
and
people.
I'm for neither one. I realized it's kind of
Ain't a
silly,
thing
but
wrong with
Burger
an
King
In-N-Out
is okay,
burger,
too.
and I'll eat it twice on Sundays. But if you make me pick, I'm going to take Five
I ate
Guys.
at a smash burger once. And
Yeah, done that.
That I don't get.
Well, and
because you smash all the flavor out of the damn hamburger.
I will say that. But dang it, have you tried that smash burger at Sonic? It's pretty darn good.
I try to avoid Sonic at all costs.
That burger is better than the regular burgers. I'm like, you should just replace your burgers with this burger. This burger's better. But anyway, the one the other thing with Five Guys and In-N-Out is the fries.
Yeah.
Because it depends on your fry opinion. Now In-N-Out, they do the more shoestring thin fry.
Yeah.
Where Five Guys is more of a wedge.
Okay.
But it's not a wedge. It's a fry, but the skin's on it. It's
I see.
natural
See, I
cut.
like somewhere in between.
But they cook it properly. It's not, because a lot of times people do that and they don't cook it enough, so it's kind of.
There's nothing wrong with Texas fries.
But here's the other thing too: is Five Guys, they give you a lot of fries.
Steak fries.
Never, ever, ever order large fries from Five Guys unless you're feeding 4 people, because that's what you can do with a large fry.
Oh, nice.
Literally, they put the regular fry or small fry. They put this cup in the bag. It's about the size of a 10-ounce, 12-ounce cup.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put it in a paper bag, and they just dump a whole bunch of fries in. I don't even know why they bother with the cup. Just dump these fries in there, and that's Five Guys. And they do this deal. They do the bit where when you come in,
Mm-hmm.
they'll tell you where the potatoes are from. Like you walk in, there's a sign like, today's potatoes come from Butt Scratch, Idaho. And they'll tell you.
Okay.
They used to do the peanuts on the floor thing, but then people
Peanut
got
allergies
butthurt
and-
about the nerve.
yeah.
Like they didn't used to, you couldn't get a milkshake at Five Guys
Really? Why not?
for years because they have no freezers.
Oh,
There's no freezers in a Five Guys. And then they said, we're not going to come up with a shake till we perfect it.
Okay.
And then about 3 or 4 years ago, they came up with their shake. And their shake is it's an order menu. You
Uh-huh.
basically have an order menu for your shake. And you can get bacon in it. You can get all kinds of stuff in it.
I mean, I can
You can-
understand
you
dipping
can-
a fry in there,
yeah.
but bacon's different.
You can go a little nutty with your shake at Five Guys if you want.
Well, it sounds like
They
I have to try
Like their
one.
burgers, it's a toppings bar.
So where do you find a Five Guys?
Albuquerque's got a couple.
Okay. Well, I may have to try
Cursus
it.
has one. Lubbock's got a couple.
Oh, so they did make it out west.
Yeah, they are out here. They're easier to find a Five Guys than an In-N-Out right now.
Yeah. Which
I
is
think right
sad.
now you got to go either halfway to Dallas or Arizona to find an In-N-Out burger.
Oh.
You've got, I think, 4 or 5 in New Mexico.
Okay.
Most in Albuquerque. I think there's like 2 or 3 in Albuquerque, and I think 1, maybe 2 in Las Cruces.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, that was definitely off topic, but it was fun.
Yeah. Five Guys.
Yeah.
They have hot dogs too.
Oh.
And I didn't have one of those till years
Are
later.
you hungry, Mike?
I know you're.
I'm a Five Guys guy.
While we got a couple seconds here left.
Yeah, let's end on a
You might
on a
want to
Legion
say
note.
something about what you girls are doing at on your Thursday meetings, because we've got air races coming here soon, and you guys are developing some new product.
Yes, we are. So we've restarted our Thursday night meetings, which is when the auxiliary folks.
Although they're not going to meet tomorrow, and next meetings are regular meetings.
Yeah. Right. So, yes. So probably the 13th is when we'll
2 weeks here, 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's when we'll be doing our regular fabric project crafty thing. So we're trying to come up with things that we can sell at farmers market, because that's going to start up faster than we anticipate.
July will be here quick.
Yes, it will. So we're thinking something to do with jars. We may do, I don't know, like a terrarium for a gnome or something. I don't know. Maybe some keychains, and we're trying to come up with something for the Reno air races, because as we know, that's coming to Roswell, and we're excited like everybody else. So we're just trying to come up with.
You know how they do those like recipes in a jar?
Yeah.
You want to do cookies and something?
That's a good idea.
What if we did a New Mexico theme one for the air racers? Something green chili, I don't know.
Hey.
Thing for
See,
asado.
now you had to say it on the radio. You couldn't have told me offline.
Oh, you know what? You're right. But maybe we go something like make a I don't know pozole or something. You know, with all the ingredients in the jar. I don't know. Put that little throw that. I don't know. Just off the top of the head.
There you go.
So if we're trying to lure them to New Mexico-ify them,
right?
That'll be a way to do it.
And put an alien on it, so it's definitely Roswell.
Oh yeah, slap
there
a little green man, and we'll call it good.
Yep.
Now it's a collector's item.
Hey, there you go. So, yeah, if you guys are interested in participating, you don't have to be a member. Just come get crafty with us.
And by the way, the all this stuff is funds to go back to our Legion stuff to keep doing the things that we do to pay for a building we got going on, but also when we get those turkeys out at Christmas, Thanksgiving, and or when we got a vet that comes through town and they need a place to stay, or they need something to get them back on their feet. That's what this money comes from.
Or we just donate stuff to the local charities that are more.
Things like the charity bears.
Yep, we need to make some more of those too. I think the sheriff needs some more.
The money goes to pay for those things, and if you're not familiar with that, that's a project that the Legion Auxiliary does, where they make little stuffed bears and things to give to law enforcement, first responders. They keep them in the backs of their vehicles when they come across domestic violence or unsavory situations, and they got kids involved. They can use these as tools to kind of give the kid a little calm in the sea of crap at the moment. So
yep. It's very, and it's a nice icebreaker for the adults too, because if the kids are happier and calmer, the
adults are a little bit.
So it makes things go smoother for everybody.
Allows the discussion to find out what actually happened, so they can serve justice.
Right. Exactly.
But that's on Thursday nights. Go to check out our website, which is probably a good resource to kind of learn everything we talk about. If you have questions about anything, scholarships, all that stuff, RoswellNMLegion.org is it RoswellLegion.org. Roswell Legion. Sorry, I get too many words in my head to say. RoswellLegion.org. If I just did it, I could do it, but if I had to say it, then it gets screwed up. RoswellLegion.org. You go there, and if you see 3 L's in the middle, you did it right.
Yep, it looks funky, but it's right.
And don't hesitate to reach out there or come back, and we'll be happy if you're in needs, or if you're a veteran looking for resources or want to be a part of it. Don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be happy to.
And if you're more interested in a phone call, you want to talk to us, it's 575-268-0220.
Very good. Well, safe travels.
Thank you.
And good luck at Hooters.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm hoping that we actually make it that far. I'm hearing that the snow might make things interesting.
Oh, is it bad? Yeah, our snow got. Yeah, we ain't nothing here. Just curious, level of wing hotness, you guys.
Oh, I'm a wuss.
Okay.
Like Parmesan garlic I'm good.
Okay.
3 Mile.
Okay. Have you ever had their hottest?
No.
Yes.
I
like being able to feel my mouth.
Yeah. No. It was.
3 Mile is the highest I go because it has flavor and heat. I mean, it's like that. Who's that guy? Flavor and Heat. Can't remember his name.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Guy Fieri?
No, he puts that crap on everything. I can't remember.
Yeah, Texas. No, it's Eli Manning.
The sauce
Eli Manning's the
is he?
The
I
talker.
didn't know that.
It's Frank's hot sauce. Thank you. I couldn't not for the life of me. I kept on saying Texas Pete. I was like, that's not it.
Because if I go hotter than that, then it just kills all the my taste buds, and then I can't taste anything.
I
It's kind of like painkillers because, you're still doing damage, but you can't feel it anymore.
Sure. Well, good tip if you want to mess with a guy, get him to get those wings, and then when they insist on the pitcher of water next to him, put a lot of salt in it. It's fun. Watch the comedy ensues after you do
Oh.
Oh, yeah, we had a whole wings bit one time. Of course, it's military, bunch of dudes.
I was wondering
doing
if that
beach
was the
things
case.
and-
Yeah, that sounded like a military story.
But mess with the guys and just taint
whenever
his
you're
water.
dealing with any kind of capsation,
Yeah.
water's a really fun thing to add.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, ask for milk. It's way better.
Yeah. Milk actually helps.
Yeah.
Or yogurt or even cheese.
Milk will kill the
Yeah.
heat, but the
Yeah.
water will spread it.
Yeah, water makes it worse, but milk is the way to go. So, but if they do ask for a pitcher of water, put copious amounts of salt. Well, it not only works, it tastes like crap. So it's really fun. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Mike. It's been an interesting
You
morning.
realize that hazing is illegal now, right?
It's not hazing. It's hanging with the boys.
Yeah, there you go. Sure.
Because sometimes it's your day to drink the pitcher of salty water. It
Is
just
it
happens.
really?
Sometimes it just happens.
Yeah. Order bottled water, open it yourself. You'll be just fine.
That's probably the real pro tip. Thank you, guys. 9:57. Let's take a quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Time to trade in and trade up in 2025 with Roswell Honda. With a fresh new lineup of vehicles and great rates that mean you can trade up and save. Like a new 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid, just 4.9% for 48 months, 2.9% for 36 months on new Pilot and Ridgeline, and 2.9% for up to 60 months on new 2025 Honda Accord. So hurry in before the savings pass you by. Trade in, trade up, and save at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Stock up your freezer with premium New Mexico grown beef cuts delivered straight to your door from Runyon Cattle Meats. Runyon Cattle Meats offers premium grass-fed, grain-finished beef in whole, halves, and quarters, along with special seasonings that perfectly complement the meat. Find mouth-watering recipes, cut lists, gift baskets, and more at RunyonCattleMeats.com. Order today by calling Runyon Cattle Meats at 575-760-5655 or online, RunyonCattleMeats.com.
You have a life, places to go, things to do, people to see, but it's hard to enjoy life when you have pain. You don't have to live that way. Softwave Therapy from Premier Chiropractic in Roswell can help you. Softwave's cutting-edge technology is non-invasive and can help your body heal. This new technology uses therapeutic energy waves to activate the body's dormant stem cells to promote natural healing. Sessions are quick with short treatment times. Start healing today. Call Premier Chiropractic at 623-2900 or visit healthyroswell.com.
Space, the final frontier.
Hi, Captain. You can choose your space at Main Trailer Sales.
Fascinating. Don't cling on to that old camper. The logical choice. New Durangos, Montanas, Cougars, and Passports from Main Trailer Sales. They allow space and comfort. Boldly explore like never before.
Beam on board to that perfect camper.
Don't go camping without us. Live long and explore.
Main Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without us.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little fog possible early today. We have a low pressure system moving north of us. Mix of sunshine and clouds for the afternoon, and we'll be in the mid to upper 50s on today's high. Overnight, partly cloudy and cool. We'll drop into the upper 20s, and then pretty windy on Thursday. Sunshine, and we're in the upper 50s, wind gusting to 40 miles an hour. We're in the mid 60s with sunshine on Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KE.